Maybe they had some dork in Sony or some dork in
Hello, are we live?
We're live enough.
We're live enough. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Awesome Talk Season 11, Episode 3 on April 16th, 2019. I almost got the fucking year wrong. I almost said 2016. Like, where am I going with this? Let's see. I'm here to see Professor Ruth the Truth is in the chat room. Okay, right. We've already gotten started. Hey, my mom is there. Hi, Mom. How are you? Hope your your thing went well with the thing. So we have a great show prepared for tonight. Unfortunately, Robus 1, who was slated to be here tonight, did not make it, but he will be on later on in the season for sure. But we do have an amazing fucking panel of people here to talk tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guests this evening. First and foremost, I want to introduce back to the bar, history professor, lead singer of Suspect, Rob Marchie's in there.
Hey, how are you?
Welcome.
How are you?
I want to welcome back to the bar, Podcast Rob from the Something Something Cast is here.
Hey.
Haven't seen Podcast Rob in a minute. Alexis. Sarah's sister Alexis is here tonight. She's sitting at the bar. So let's have a big round of applause for that. All right. And philosophy professor Chris Ruth is also at the bar tonight. Hey. Welcome. This is you guys' first time being here tonight, so you get to see how this shit works. So, and hopefully, can people hear us? Can you guys hear us? Somebody just wrote what? Like, that helps me figure out what the fuck is going on. Okay, good. Yeah, this sounds.
I was trying to share it.
It sounds great.
It does.
Good. Oh, good work. Good work
I think
over
you
there.
just like your own voice. I just think that's what.
Oh, I would just record that by myself and listen to it over and over again. So, we'll do a quick around the bar. My name is Rick. I'm your host. Just say.
I'm Rob. Teach history.
Pat, Chris,
Rob,
Alexis, Sarah.
And what's up? Welcome. So off the bat.
I'm unseen.
Yeah, you got to get in your chair.
Sarah.
Biebs is the new Sarah.
All right. Good job, Biebs.
She's a better Sarah than I could ever hope to be.
So let's see. We've already got people. Anna Johnson. Yes, we hear you. Good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is awesome. This is already awesome. So something has been bothering me that I read in the news, and I've been dying to bring it up on this show because it pissed me off, and it didn't piss me off in the way that it pissed everybody else off. But like, I have a sincere, bad fucking problem with the news telling me how to feel about things, and they automatically do that sometimes in headlines, and it really bothers me. Okay, so what it said was, it was something along the lines of, girl loses all of her, YouTube followers or something, and now is crying that she's now going to have to get a real job. Now, the problem was that YouTube or whoever the hell was responsible for this, for whatever reason, deleted her account. And she had millions of followers. So she made a living doing whatever the hell it was she did online. Influencing, whatever it is, right?
why can't you do that, Rick?
I'm trying to do
you're
that.
doing this.
And let me tell you
Is
something.
that the headline, though?
That was the headline.
Sounds like
Yes.
Gizmodo or something.
That's what I was going to say,
right.
Gizmodo, some shit like that. It was something like that. But what bothered me about it is how many people I see that go, oh, yeah, boo-hoo, now you have to get a real job. Working sucks. And I've done jobs that suck, and I've mixed cement for 10 years. Hold on.
Sustaining like a several $7 million viewership thing that's sustaining your life is also nothing but work.
That's what I'm saying. So what bothers me is that people are like, oh yeah, now you have to get a real job. That's not really what you're saying. What you're saying is, congratulations, now you get to have a job that sucks like we have.
Well, people want everyone else to suffer. You can't have something good if I don't have it.
People do want other people to suffer. People are like, like whatever happened to, I'm going to work hard so the generation below mine can have it better. And then but now it's not like that anymore. It's, I worked hard and now you get to work hard too, sucker. And I think that sucks. So my opinion on the matter was, okay, so we're all going to tell her she has to go out and get some shitty job. You have any idea how much fucking work it takes to get millions of followers? How much work it takes to, do you even understand that this girl is running her own business? That's essentially what she's really doing. It might be an entertainment business, but for you to build millions of followers when you are not a movie star, not a rock star, not a model, and not a famous athlete is pretty fucking impressive, don't you think? Am I wrong about this?
So the point is that the headline told you how to feel about it?
The headline told me how to feel about it, but that wasn't even what bothered me about it. What bothered me about it is how many people I read just backing the headline up. Just like, yeah, boo-hoo, sorry about
Well, it's
that.
because people don't read articles anymore. They just read the headline. So the headline has to be reactionary enough for all those comments to exist.
Right.
Not like 1 out of every 60 of those comments were people that read
Well, it's
the
funny
article.
when they get mad at an article from like The Onion.
Yeah.
They didn't. You could tell they didn't read it. They don't know where it's
no
coming
idea
from.
what
They
the
just
headline
see that
is.
headline.
Yeah.
Of something
Exactly.
stupid.
Yeah.
Well, people are just jealous of their own pathetic lives, so they have nothing else to do but
Yeah.
bitch about
That's what I
everybody
think
else.
it is.
So.
That's what I think it is. Millennials take a lot of shit, and I'm not saying they're not owed shit at times, but they kind of like, a lot of them have figured out that a lot of shit sucks, and that they're just not going to do it. And I kind of have no problem with that.
Did you read the actual article?
No, I never do that.
Okay.
I just read the headline.
She had,
No, but here's
she
the thing.
had just over 100,000 followers.
That's
which
fucking-
is
that's
still,
amazing.
It's still, that a lot different than a million, but still impressive.
Mm-hmm.
7 million.
But I think what pissed a lot of people off, and what kind of set me off too,
Okay.
was in her hysterical video that she posted. She said, before this, I was just a loser with a regular job like everybody else.
Right.
And without my followers, I'm a nobody. So she's kind of shitting on the people who don't do what she does, and now she has to crawl back down into the regular dregs of humanity where she won't be
Into loser town with the
recognized
rest
or,
of
But
us.
she's even shitting on the
won't see
people
her
that
on the
follow
face.
her, so she's even an asshole for what she's
So
saying.
that's more what set me off.
Okay,
Not like,
okay.
You know,
No, that's fair
you
enough.
and me doing this podcast thing. We're grinding for listeners, for viewers.
Yeah,
for followers.
you know how hard
So
it is to get
we get
viewership.
that.
That's work, man.
But I've never heard you, and certainly we've never been like, well, before this podcast thing, we were just a fucking bullshit nobody doing a regular 9 to 5 doing retail until
Right.
podcasting came along. You don't shit on people like that. So that's kind of where they were like, hey, cool, you got your comeuppance, go fuck yourself.
But do you ever feel like in your life that you are kind of a bullshit nobody? Because I think that about myself all the time. So
We just recorded last night and joked about the 3 people who listened to us for the past 7 years. I mean, yeah, we're yelling into a void. Unless you're getting paid for it, unless you're getting some residual.
Right.
Everything about yourself is a self-inflated view of it, but you kind of have to, or else you beat yourself up and say, well, why the fuck am I doing this?
I worry that if I don't make any kind of a living doing something creative, which is what I really want to do, that I fit that profile. I'm just a loser. It just always feels that way. Like, no matter what milestone I hit, no matter what fucking I accomplish, no matter what I publish, no matter what I do, if I'm not really doing that with the one life that I have that's going to definitely end someday, I just feel like I feel like that. So again, I'm not trying to even diffuse what you said about her and what she said about people. I'm just saying I'm lying if I say I 100% think that she meant it that way.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
For creative people, I think I agree with you. There is that kind of drive where, I work retail. I could make $1 million in a year because I've pushed the most boxes out of a door. But does that fulfill me? Does that make me happy? Does
Right.
that is that the drive that I want to do? No. So I get where you're coming from, but
Yeah.
I think that's what set people off more. Kind of the attitude that she came from, and
Right.
she's coming from a certain perspective because of what she does. So
Right.
maybe there is a little bit of forgiveness that has to go with that. But
Sure.
I think that's what set most people off.
Yeah.
What the hell was her YouTube channel for?
I don't know.
It was an Instagram account. She was an influencer.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I was just more kind of taken aback by the fact that people sort of celebrated the fact that she would have to get a shitty job. And I feel like people do that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most
Everyone
people
does
don't
that.
actually do what they want to do. So
Right.
again, it's like
Right.
jealousy that if
Well, that's-
I have to have a miserable
yeah.
life, then everybody else has to have a miserable
Yeah,
life.
instead
Right.
of just
Who are
going,
you to
how
have,
about
like,
we all
the
don't
life?
have miserable lives?
But I
Like,
feel
why
like
isn't
there's
that
a
ever?
practical approach to that now. Like, I feel like people are treating that like that's how we all feel.
Well, you got to think about it like this. There's an entire generation, and I'm not talking about like 50 plus. I'm talking about 28 plus
Right.
that didn't know how to utilize social media when it came out. Right. So if there's people that can sit home on a couch and take photographs with products sent to them at their home or stuff like that, or they gain these likes because they're attractive or whatever they hashtag over the course of time, it's income.
Right.
They fucked the system.
Right.
Like, that's a whole new generation of making money, is pawning other people's shit off.
Sure.
So it's not a generation where it's like baby boomers are like, you don't know what you're doing, millennials or whatever.
Right.
It's our generation going, you motherfucker.
Man at
Like,
each other.
why didn't I do that?
Yeah, exactly.
Why didn't
Man
I
at
think
each
of
other.
Like,
that?
the app came out while I was 28.
I know.
And it was like,
I
could
could
have
have done
did that
this.
10. I could have been somebody.
Yeah.
You know, like,
You know what? At least you're trying. All these people aren't even trying to do this, and then
Right.
they're complaining about it.
Right.
While other people are actually
That's the other
succeeding
thing.
at it.
A
But
lot
it's
of
like,
people.
it's tech. It's tech. It's a whole
Right.
revolution that took over.
Right.
We were in the shit beginning of it, so we don't know how to use it the way that they know how to use it.
We also developed it in a way. And
Right.
isn't it fucked up? Like, you developed it, but you also aren't utilizing it
You
to
added
100%.
your personality to MySpace, and now you can actually add your personality by
Right.
video photography.
Hold on. I gotta.
Keith has a great point on there.
Hold on. Let's see. John Pfeiffer's in the chat. What's up, man? Hey, Jenny Chocolate is in the chat. Bill is in the chat. Jesus, there's a lot of people in there right now. Let's see, Keith. As far as the main topic, you can't knock anyone's hustle really, but from a what's good for you thing, stop following influencers and models. Follow artists' creativity and things you truly enjoy. Delete those who post poison and obvious troll bait posts. Watch how much better your feed is and how much happier you are in general. Hey, Brandy. I was going to say that too. It kind of was interesting to me that the person who wrote this article would put a headline on it like, oh, now you have to work a regular job. And I was like, dude, you're a clickbait writer. Like, is anybody going to question the asshole who wrote this fucking article to begin with? Like,
And what's a regular job? Like,
One that you don't like
doing
having.
something you don't
Yeah.
like to make money.
Pretty much.
That's what I think people expect. I think people expect it to be.
what is a regular job?
What's up, man?
If you make, oh, welcome to the party.
Hey, what's up, man?
Well.
We're already rolling.
I know.
All right.
You know,
all
like,
right.
if somebody pumps gas and somebody makes burgers and
Right.
somebody's a fucking doctor and somebody's
Right.
a teacher and somebody's a lawyer and somebody's an electrician, they do what they like.
Yeah, but the regular job is a sarcastic way of just
What,
saying
blue
shitty
collar
job.
shit? Like,
Right.
everybody
Yeah.
in their
Right.
mind has a shitty job.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, there's things that are good and there's things that are bad, but at the end of the day, it's like, all right, so are you making money? Are you getting by?
Yeah.
And do you do what you like? Or are you just doing what you have to do to survive?
I
Some
think the
peop-
difference
you know-
is some people have a whole industry behind them, and then these other people, these fringe artists and all this, they don't have anybody backing
Right.
them up.
Right.
No industry backing
Some of the
them up,
happiest
no,
people like come
you know.
home like filthy and dirty and stinky and
For real. That's what
With
Office
their
Space
job.
was
But
about.
some
Yeah.
of the, but,
At the end of the
but
day-
some of the people that come home with nothing are happy. You know, like that's
Right.
that's the thing is like you could sit home and be a dying artist or a
Right.
poet or whatever and make music and that be your only source of income. And if you're not making money, you love doing what you're doing, so it's self-rewarding. But you're living at a subpar level, so you're giving up one for the other. And at the end of the day, is it happy? Are you happy?
Are you
A lot of
happy?
things
It's
about
like-
money. Like I know in certain countries outside the U.S. where they have jobs like Dr. Garbishman making similar salaries, and the whole
Yep.
point of the government of it being that way is for individuals to get into something that they love and enjoy, and they don't go after something just for money.
Right.
So it's like your garbage man, he wants to do that. He's happy. They're all making roughly the same, and it's just out of happiness. That's
Yeah.
why some of these countries, the people are a hell of a lot happier.
They are.
They're not dropping dead of heart attacks
Yeah.
and
Problem, though,
other
is when
things
you
that are
make
going
that
on.
point and you say those things, the immediate
Yep.
fucking reaction
This
Is
is the
he
problem.
trying to make
Socialism.
equivalent?
Yeah,
that's exactly
right.
And it's like, listen, I mean, this has nothing to do with politics.
Right,
It's
exactly.
not a
It has to
matter
do with that.
of.
I think it has to do with land mass and population.
It has to do with communal living. When you hit a certain population density, it's like, all right, well, people need to work.
Right.
Yeah.
If there's people poor, you don't have to buy them out of income equality. Put them to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, give them jobs. Find a place to do it, and it is not hard if there's government regulation on business that restricts nonsense.
Yeah.
The problem is.
Can I ask you guys something?
Yeah.
It's speaking to that point, not to
Right.
cut you off, but what do you think of this whole thing about because I have a really harsh kind of stance on it, and I argue with myself about the stance. So the idea that like the minimum wages should go up. first off, straight up off the bat, I believe the minimum wage should be higher because people should be able to live on a certain amount now as they were in the beginning of this capitalist nonsense. So I do agree with that. But what about small business owners when they come out and they say, if I do that, I can't run a business?
I'm sorry,
then
but that's part of owning the goddamn business.
That's
Is
what I was
making
gonna
sure
say.
you can pay your employees.
Right. If you can't pay your employees a
It's
living
like
wage,
saying, like,
wage,
oh
you
wait,
shouldn't be
if
in
that
business.
high rise costs like $5 million, I'm not going to be able to buy it. So what about that? Well, then you can't fucking buy it.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're literally complaining that if you're made to pay people enough to live, then you won't have any workers. That's your complaint.
Right.
Then maybe just go and get better complaints and then
Right.
make them public because
There's
that's
no-
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Go and get
Well, there's
better
no
complaints.
regulations in terms of like cost of living. For instance, I have employees all over the world, and when I sit there and go like for end of year reviews and giving raises, I have my U.S. staff, I have a budget, and this is
Right.
what you get, which is now your lousy 1 to 3%, if that.
Sure.
My employees say that I have in Madrid. I literally, per the government, I have to give the cost of living percentage,
Ooh.
which they have to get by law, and they tell me what it is. It's 8%, whatever that may be.
Wow.
You get that, and then on top of it, then you get from the company your normal raise.
New question.
So they're always, like, I don't want to say ahead of the game, but you're not finding then that they're working 3 jobs
Right.
to support themselves because of the lousy pays. And again, there's no consideration of cost of living.
Sure.
Everything keeps going up.
Right.
But other countries, again,
Do you know how many
they
people have
factor that
argued
in.
with me on social media when I say the cost of living and the cost of what people make is supposed to go up in
Minimum
tandem?
wage
The inflationary
should be
rate.
Not here,
over
it doesn't.
$33 today. If it had kept up with cost of living,
Yeah.
it'd be 33.
Yeah.
And we're arguing about whether 12
But
is
don't you know?
pushing
Don't
it
you know
too
you're supposed to
fast.
go out and get 2 or 3 jobs
And
and,
the
make
argument
it.
is that people like look at it and they say, well, you shouldn't be paying people that amount of money. But the reality is, if the minimum wage goes up as the minimum wage, that doesn't just affect people that work minimum wage jobs.
Right.
That is a ladder. It means everybody's supposed to rise with that
Right.
increase. The problem is everyone's job below the like $300,000 income mark never went up.
Right.
It just stayed like this. They used minimum wage as a measurement for people who were in the $50,000, $35,000, $75,000 bracket. And because that's the minimum wage, you can't make less than that. So we're not going to change the top level,
Yeah.
payment
Yeah, but
schedule.
when it comes down to it, this is like a second layer solution. Minimum wage. The real solution
Right.
is make
Yes.
the dollar not inflationary to the point where
Correct.
it's going
Right.
to go to
Right.
the ground and be worth nothing.
Hold-
But the minimum
100
wage
years
jump
ago,
is
it's
not
5
even doing
cents.
anything
It's
either,
worth
because
$1
say it was
now.
what, $10 to $15.
Right.
They didn't do that overnight. Where it's
Right.
like you made 10
Yeah.
today, you make it 15 tomorrow. You're
By
going to get a dollar,
Yeah, right, by
a dollar.
2025,
By the time
right, yeah,
you
right.
again, it's not
Exactly.
cost of living.
It's
You're
not cost of
still
living, right,
then
right.
behind the 8 ball again
Right,
by
right.
the time you even get to that
100%.
$5. So
Yeah.
it doesn't mean
And
shit.
with something I want to add, go ahead. What were we going to say?
I was gonna just talk about, wasn't there this presidential candidate who wants to give everybody $1,000 a month or something like that?
Yeah, he wants
I
to
love
give
that
it-
guy.
From where, though?
basically.
That's what I'm asking.
From where?
I don't know.
I mean-
I don't know the repercussions.
From where?
Yeah,
So
exact
here's where.
somebody for
It's
that.
not
Where's
a.
it- where's
It
it
does a
coming
lot of good things. It
Here's where it's
stimulates
coming
the
from. I don't know
economy
enough
more than almost
to answer
anything
that
else
question.
across the board.
You know, billionaires are just going to lobby
It's
it away
supposed to
down to
replace
us anyway.
welfare, and it's supposed to also go to everybody, no matter how wealthy you are.
Right.
So
So
rather
everybody
than,
gets it.
rather than the government wait for you to apply for welfare,
They just
it's
give you
already
$1,000.
giving you the
Right.
money.
Everybody
That's right.
gets
Everybody gets
everyone.
$1,000.
See someone at the beeline poverty mark.
That's it. Everybody.
As
If you're
long as they're a
American,
registered citizen, they
right.
get $1,000
Correct.
cash as a starting point.
I think
Every
it was
month,
1,500.
is it 15?
I think.
But does that pick up people that are sitting on the streets right
getting
now?
higher.
Like all of a sudden, do people that are poor get handed a check or a cash block?
Hey, no, maybe not though. But you can go get a haircut, get a suit.
No.
Go do a lot of- right, see
I'm
what saying?
asking, do they get that?
Yes.
Is that
Some
part
random-
of it?
Everybody.
Do the poverty-stricken sitting on the road to
Everybody.
Philadelphia?
It's not like they have a mailing address.
I'm
Like,
for it.
Right.
I'm for
Well,
it.
that's
what are you
that
going to
too.
do?
Is it a one-time deal or is
No,
it
no,
a-
every
No,
month.
forever.
Every month.
Pay
Every
me
month.
for the rest of your life?
Here was this argument too.
You're an
because
American citizen.
You get forever. for
Who's
life.
distributing the wealth?
Okay, good
Federal
question.
government.
Yeah, it's
The
a
federal
livable
government,
wage
probably
or
from the
whatever it's
taxes
called.
they take from us.
Gonna get
Yeah.
dropped as a
Living
socialist.
wage.
Of course
That's
he
it.
is already, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a prayer.
Well, right now this could just be his way to be, hey, look at me. This is my name. I'm the guy who wants to give you $1,000.
Well, they're
You
all
know
like
what that
they're
sounds like?
Well, you know, this is
Everyone.
the idea that
Bernie's
Milton
free
Friedman
healthcare.
was
That sounds
behind.
like
the what?
Milton Friedman was behind this idea. You know, if you want to talk about its credentials as kind of a
Oh, yeah.
economically right wing idea with respectability in that regard, right?
Yeah.
Chicago school economist.
That's a kitty.
It's a kitty coffee. Yeah.
It's not necessarily a entirely socialist idea. I mean, it doesn't do anything to really disrupt the distribution of wealth.
Absolutely
other
not.
than, and it's largely supposed to be paid for by eliminating all the other kinds of wealth.
But like, if they give us all that much money per month, doesn't it just make the dollar worth even less?
Well, how about
If
this?
they're just giving.
I mean, the dollar's worth shit.
If they're just printing money.
So,
I mean, I
in
just mean if they just
actuality,
keep printing
the
money.
dollar's worth nonsense. I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about it, there's no reason pennies, nickels, or dimes should even be a fucking source of currency anymore. It's so ridiculous if you look at it. When we're $22 trillion in debt, and you have a wealth disbursement over 328 million people, right? The average amount of debt per citizen that's of legal age is $51,000. Immediately.
Yeah.
Over adult age is $51,000. Average across 328 million people.
What were you gonna say?
I forgot now.
Oh, it's great. It's all right.
Oh,
No, it's,
So-
I really don't know.
They interviewed the guy
Right.
to ask him, what do you think it like how is this going to help? Because that's always the thing too, right? And nobody attacks these ideas more than other poor people do, by the way,
right.
which is really confusing
Attacks
to
them?
me.
What do you mean tax them?
Like, doesn't want it?
Correct.
poor person?
What are you
listen,
making off of?
Listen,
what are you
listen.
making off welfare?
Every time somebody
Oh,
comes out and
that's what I was
says,
gonna say.
Not that much.
what were you
He's
going to
got
say?
it. He's got it.
When enough robots take over his jobs
Right.
for like construction jobs
Good
and
point.
all the other things,
Right.
somebody's gonna have to start doing this anyway. It's gonna be a necessity for people to even live.
You can't keep a capitalist system forever if we have robots doing everything
We need to
for
go
us.
to a 20-hour work week, at least or something like that.
I'm
at
on
least
board
a reduced work
with
week.
that
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Because 40 hours is, that's obsolete.
Yeah, it's obsolete and it's also not good for
Did you
humans.
hear about what Jack
Right.
Ma was talking about?
You think
better
anyone
be
cares
prepared
what's
for
good for
12-hour
humans?
days,
No.
6-day weeks.
Yeah, the guy in
If
China.
you want to
right?
work for my company and
Yeah,
this
yeah.
and that, and everybody else should adopt this, he's getting criticized really heavily right now. He just
Dude,
said this a couple days ago.
We are not designed for this. You can't work your whole life, dude. Like, this is fucking
They
crazy,
want
dude.
slaves.
They have it. They call it what the 996.
Yep.
Come to work at 9 in the morning, leave at 9 o'clock at night, 6 days a week.
Oh my god.
That's what he's pushing for
Yeah.
over in China.
Yep.
Fucking.
Along
what's
with
the
the
point?
social credit
Dude,
system,
okay, hold on a
they are
minute, man.
just slaves
Can,
at
can I
this
ask you guys
point.
something? Okay, let's say that's the truth. Let's say we're all working 6 days a week, 12 hours a fucking day, right? What would you say the point of being alive is at that point?
Nothing.
That's a real question. What is the point of being alive if that is what you do?
Especially with the past conversation where most people have jobs that they absolutely hate to begin with. So now
Yes.
you're doing that 12 hours a day for
That's
6
why they have
days
so
a
many
week.
suicide nets around all the buildings there and
Yeah,
all
you're
the
right.
factories. 'Cause
Right.
People just
Where
jump
people
out
are
the
just
window
dropping
all the
dead of
time.
heart attacks at an early age because
Yeah,
they're
and a lot of those factories are like
stressed.
130 degrees on the inside with no AC and shit.
everybody's
There's the
on
one engineer
antidepressants and everything else.
Who the hell could
'cause-
blame anybody,
iPhone
man?
prototype.
For
So
a
he
whole
lost
fucking-
the iPhone prototype. He ended up killing himself.
The what?
Because they're fucking.
There was a
brain-
guy. I guess it was somewhere in China.
Right.
Had a prototype of the iPhone. I don't know which one. It might be like the 3 or the 4 or something like that. And
Right.
left it out somewhere in public, and then it leaked to the world. You know how Apple is.
Yeah.
And the guy was so scared he ended up killing himself.
Scared of what? What
The
Apple?
repercussions
Or
of his
shame
job
or
over
whatever.
there.
Well, yeah, with their
Yeah.
culture, their shame,
Yeah.
forget
Shame,
about it.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm getting off
Yeah,
topic
it's,
with
it's,
that
it's
one.
a really
but-
messed up culture when you
Yeah.
think about it. Like
You're a
it's-
meat robot.
You're
Yeah.
taught. You're brought up to
Yes.
think this way.
You're a meat
That,
robot.
like
Yeah.
countries first, corporations like second, and like your family's like nothing.
And you know what? So I said something today to someone, and I wanted to get everybody's response to this too. Somebody had asked me about, the poor in America and how things get this way and why it is the way it is. And I had said, historically speaking, and I could be fucking way wrong, so tell me if I am. The whole bring you're tired, you're weak, you're hungry, that whole thing, right? And you have, immigrants coming to Ellis Island and all this shit, right? And it's supposed to be the American dream and it's this big fucking like golden pathway to happiness. It always just seemed to me that rich people were digging their meat hooks into America at that time, and they needed a cheap-ass workforce, and they just figured out how to get one. And I feel like it's kind of been that way since.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how you feel about immigration and people coming over from south of the border, neither party wants to stop it, right? Because they're
Right.
trying to keep the cost of labor down.
Yeah, right,
And they're
right.
getting votes too,
Right.
somehow.
Yeah, but the point also is too, if people are hungry and they're scared and they have nowhere to go, they're the easiest people to rip off and exploit. They're the easiest people to put to fucking work in the shittiest possible way, man, because they need it more than anybody. You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of what's happening now, but on a slower, like a slower scale with more fun toys involved. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, hey, you'll be fucking. We can take advantage of you, but at least you have your iPads and shit, right? That'll keep you happy, you know? I don't know. Am I wrong?
No. You're not wrong.
No?
No.
Yeah, you're the expert.
Yeah. Is there some truth in
Am
it?
I though? Am I?
Yes.
You're the most learned of the subject.
Yeah.
You're a master of your subject.
I mean,
What's the alternative though?
'Cause I saw you make a face when I said
You're really
that.
wearing a suit, for God's
Yeah.
sake.
I
When I said that,
came
that,
from work. I apologize.
Dude,
Last
put-
time I was wearing an FBI
put those glasses
sweatshirt.
on.
he was playing
What was
a
I
game
wearing
on his
before
phone,
that?
he wasn't able
Oh,
to
Was
see
that
it.
You don't have the.
now
he's
that's
ready.
the man with his shit together. That's the guy
I'm
with his
normally
shit
here
together.
in a sweatshirt and flat brim hat.
Sure,
I
sure.
apologize.
So could aliens have built the pyramids?
He's actually helped me.
They help
They helped me. Are these yours?
Never mind.
I
And you know what's fucked up? I found them.
do. I look professorial.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So what's the question overall?
The question was my assessment right? Bring your tired, you're poor, you're hungry. At that time, a lot
And
of
your
rich
assessment
people.
of this is
that
your-
rich
your-
people
your,
needed a
your
cheap-
zeitgeist Illuminati viewpoint.
Yes,
is,
of course. Thank
all right,
you.
So
Thank you for
We're
clarifying.
going to put our tin hats on.
Let's do it. Is that a tin hat theory?
No,
Okay, thank you.
no. Economically speaking,
Nice
no.
history.
Makes sense, right?
Okay. Well, here's the problem: is that you.
Thank you.
Here's the problem: is that you're talking about it historically.
Right.
Right. So from a sociological perspective, it is what it is.
Right.
Immigrants wanted to come here. Immigrants have always come here. That's the national identity. Economically speaking, in the late 1800s, during the Gilded Age, when you're
Right.
talking about industrialism, mass industrialism, is there credence to that?
Well,
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island and the arrival of immigrants was necessarily targeted to bring
A workforce?
labor in.
That's
Yeah,
how I know they just exploited that.
but that's how
fact
the
that it was
country
happening already.
started.
well, yeah, but you look back at immigration. I mean, immigration was happening during the Civil War.
Sure.
And the interesting thing about it is actually supports your point is
Okay.
that the boats are coming into New York Harbor
Right.
and drafting immigrants from a country they
And
ran
getting
away
right back on
from,
another
Right.
boat.
putting them right into a civil war that they don't
Right.
know what they're
In
fighting.
fact, they were
into.
getting off a
Well,
boat and
then
signing
let the
themselves
Chinese
into a
come in
military.
to
They
build the
didn't-
railroad, and then they
Yes,
passed
yes.
the immigration restriction.
So at the end of the
after they
day,
had
what are
it
you
built.
talking about? You're talking about major governance structure for the last 3,500 years. You know, like
Yeah, and you're
mass
talking-
indu-
yeah,
but
right.
have we modernized it? Yeah, we don't want to think of ourselves as that, but that's the problem with the human condition now. Is that
Right.
if you study it enough, you can look at yourself in the mirror and go, "Fuck, I'm a plebeian." You know, like,
Yeah.
or I'm lower class, or
I'm a
middle
proletariat.
Class. I'm a
Yeah.
yeoman farmer. Like, and if you put yourself in the context of 1700, 1800,
I say that in the
1900,
mirror every day.
you're living that shit. If you think that
Yeah.
people in the early 1900s or people in the early 1800s or people in the late 1700s weren't sitting around like we're sitting here right now
Same
after
exact
working and
shit.
talking
Same
shit.
thing, right.
Same thing.
Just
different clothes.
different toys.
Different rhetoric.
Different toys,
It'd be
right.
weird if
We
it
have
was
the
the same
technology to
clothes.
talk to each other without going, I have to drive 3 weeks or ride 3 weeks to Virginia. You know, I can contact somebody quickly. This doesn't make us really smart.
We don't need maps.
It makes us fucking idiots. This
Yeah.
this is the decline of communication.
This is now the first brain. This is the second
right,
brain.
right. It's
you know.
you're using this to get through every day, and the issue
And
is
thank
that
God.
the
you know?
lack of communication. We've reverted. We've devolved. We're
I
heading.
know we speak in cave paintings and
we
emojis.
speak in emojis.
Emojis
Yeah.
and
It's
hieroglyphics.
It's hieroglyphs.
That's
Yeah.
why Instagram
I
is
don't.
so popular.
You show me a spot where I use
Well,
the
there's still,
you know what,
emoji.
you're
there's still a
fucking
percentage
elitist.
of
I am.
scholars out there.
I am. I'm a scholar
Yeah,
right
right.
there.
You got
Yeah.
a raven, and you're like,
Yeah, but what's the alternative to all this?
What?
There's only really three options. You're either
Okay.
working for somebody else, you're
Right.
working for yourself, or
Sort of.
you have other people working for you.
Right.
So what other system is actually going to sustain everybody?
I think we're sort of on the verge of a lot of people working for themselves in a strange new environment.
I
Right?
think,
But then
yeah,
there's no
like
civic
you're-
system,
like,
then there's no
In
garbage
a fully
system, you know,
digitized,
you're
in
gonna
a fully
start-
digitized world, whatever your
down
skill
everything.
set is that you can bring to it is going to be what brings you value. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like if you're smart enough to teach something, for example, then you'll be included in this pool online where you'll be able to do everything from your computer and teach. If you're the type of person who can build something, you can build things, sell them, people will pay you to learn from you how to build them and things like that. And it's kind of going that way. I don't know how it's going to work with 7 billion fucking of us,
Right.
but a lot of people have created their own business just by filming themselves do mundane everyday shit, dude. And I'm going to show you how to make
that's
eggs.
not gonna change the
Yeah,
world.
but that's like every
just
man for
gonna
themselves
change
type
people with
situation.
technology.
But it is
Nobody
changing
wants
the
to
world.
work for anybody else.
Yeah, that's
Nobody says,
capitalism.
"Oh, I want to do all this work so you can eat."
People
You
are
know,
tired of
like-
that
Well,
shit, man.
Like I said last time
Yeah, go
I was
ahead.
here, the idea of having a career, right? The notion of having a career that you live and die in over the course of 45 or 50 years. Those days have come to an end. Like it's like a matter of you work somewhere till you're happy and then kind of not happy and
Right.
then distraught.
Doesn't that suck?
And it doesn't mean you have to give up what you love. You still have that. If you did it 5 years, 10 years, 4 years, whatever the hell it is, you found an interest in it, you move on to the next thing.
Right.
You know, that's not ADD or ADHD. That's like I'm connecting with something else that I think I can make a living off of. I found
Yeah.
a new creative outlet. I found something
Sure.
that I like.
Sounds exhausting.
It sounds easy. It sounds easy. Like you're like, oh, look at that. I like that. That's pretty cool.
I haven't habit of doing all that.
I can learn how to do
Change
that
all
in
the
10
time.
minutes.
I want to do something different.
But there's a point where
But you-
I'm with you. That's the problem. is
Right.
I'm with you. Like I'm like, I would love to be able to do that. I
Yeah.
don't have time to fucking do that.
Doesn't
I
that
found
suck?
something I went to school for. I like. I'm not leaving it. I enjoy it. So I'm with
Wait.
you 100%. But I'm just talking objectively in the fact that in today's day and age, I mean, that's the problem is you can't have an objective conversation and be like, well, I understand where you're coming from. I agree with you. I know where you're coming from. I agree with you. You know, like no one does that.
Right.
I can still say, well, I don't give a fuck what you're saying and what you're saying, but I agree with you. I see how it is. I choose to do this.
Right.
There's no responsible kind of thought where you're like, I'm going to own who I am. That's
I have
it.
no idea what we're talking about anymore.
That's the point. That's the point. Right? I just fucking went out there.
I just blow your mind.
I think another big problem is
Curve
back
right
in the
around
day, and
Now I know why
probably-
my students hate me, man. I talk about that shit. I'm like, you get it? Do you fucking get it? And they're like,
He's like
what?
crying.
And I'm like,
I think part of what we've lost is a sense of society.
yes.
Yeah.
Because
Contribution.
back in the day, rising tide raises all ships. The guy down the street had to do good because if he didn't,
Right.
he was the guy that built this or made this or
Yeah.
did this in our town. And if he falls apart, all the rest of the dominoes go.
Right.
Now you've got people who are making 480 times what their worker is going,
Right.
excuse me, who the fuck are you to tell me that I have to
Right.
go to 470 times?
It
just so
develops an
somebody else
unofficial
can
caste
make
system.
$10 more an hour.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's no thought to the people who got you there.
Right.
And
Because
to
we're not even the
sustain
same
that.
species anymore.
Because there are people, Rob, don't you know there are people who are better than you? They're better than
Right,
you.
half of them are in this room.
You can't expect
That's
those
the
that are
issue.
making 500%
Like,
the amount of money that their workers make, and also trust that they know what's best and what you need.
Right.
People that make that much money have no real idea about worrying about if their medicine's gonna be or if they're gonna find the right doctor. Like people in like golden robes find their doctors.
You know what I
for
realized
them.
today?
Like they're gonna like split off from the rest of humanity into some weird morphed
Yeah.
rich
Yeah, right.
people.
That would be a
species.
fucking reality show.
Yeah.
Taking these multi-billionaires and we're going to let
You know
them
what-
loose in Target for a half hour
Yeah.
to shop
Yeah.
for themselves.
Go survive.
And watch them fucking fall
Right, right.
apart.
But you know what I realized today is that, like, at this moment in my life, I feel like I'm doing better financially than I ever have before. And I'm not saying that that's great, but if you really pay attention to my house, I have more rolls of toilet paper than I'll ever need in a million years. I have more rolls of paper towels. I have 1,000,000 bars of soap. I am overstocked with so much shit because I have it built into me now to be terrified
Of
of
running
not
out of
being
toilet
able to
paper.
get toilet paper. Okay, like I used to steal toilet paper from work. Like in my adult life, I have done that. In my adult life, I've had to do that while working hard constantly.
What's the story behind this?
The story, but it's just not making what you're
happened?
worth.
He poops a lot.
Working your fucking ass off to get, and that.
Were you stuck without it once?
When all you have to eat is buffalo sauce.
But no, but to your point, grocery store shopping is fucking terrifying. When you walk down that aisle and you're like, hey, here's a 6-pack of paper towels for $19. I'll just buy the 1-pack of paper towels for 89 cents. And
You're
then
right.
just- I won't dry a whole lot of stuff. You
Right,
know, let
exactly.
stuff air dry.
Yeah.
You have to start cutting corners. Because
Right.
like, I don't have $19 to spend on paper towels.
You roll the wet one back onto the roll.
Drape it over the railing.
my
of your,
God.
Drape it over the railing of the porch outside.
blow
let it
dry.
Yes. Well, as long as you're not reusing your toilet paper, you know what I mean? I think that's a whole other
But I
line.
think that's.
So you
I
get
mean,
those people that take the 2-ply and they split it and they. double the
Those
volume.
people? Are you, being
when,
judgmental?
you know when you're starting to count that shit when you get to the line and you're like, I'm saying it's like 110. I'm saying it's like 180. You know, like you're counting as the items go through and you're like, shit.
Yeah, right. I know,
This is
man.
gonna be Carter cash today.
And Rick can probably attest to this too. I have a dog, so I went out to the grocery
does.
store the other day, and literally, I had like 11 items in my cart.
Yeah.
Go up there, scans them through. She's like $94.50, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like there's no protein, there's no alcohol, there's no. What the fuck is
There's
$94?
not even any meat
It's
here.
I didn't buy it.
just
There's no
it's just a bunch of
T-bone.
paper towels.
There's no T-bone and a bottle of Tito's. It's like, I
I got a green pepper and a box
where
of
did you
Cracker
get
Jacks.
$94?
It's
And
just
a bag
like
of dogs.
60
Yeah.
rolls of paper towels.
Yeah. Well, it's just a stocking up of paper towels, just in case.
Wow.
I don't know, man. I have poorness built into my DNA. Even when I'm doing semi-okay in life, I'm like just terrified now. You know what I mean?
Because you never know when that's gonna go.
Well, yeah. I'll make a statement here. I mean, I've been on this show 5 times.
5 times,
or something,
maybe?
right?
5 or
So-
6
so
times?
5 times I've been on this show, and every time I've been here that people have spoken, it's like they're some of the most intelligent people I've been around.
Thank
Because
you.
it's just casual conversation, and they're like real fucking people. Like, you've worked. You know, you could be smart. We had people on here that are authors. You had
Sure.
people that were on here that were, you know, they're rappers. They're in the music. They're
Sure.
into. You've had people that are in bands. You've had people that are from every spectrum, and you sit them here, and everybody's intelligent as shit,
And everybody's on the
based
level.
on experience, not because you went to college, not because
Right.
you know. It's like, listen, if I just sit there and go, all right, well, maybe your strong suit isn't this because I went to school for that. Why would you know that shit? You know, you went to school for plumbing, or you went to school
Right.
for computer technology. I couldn't make a web address
like
if I
that's
tried.
like
I
trivia.
couldn't fucking do
Yeah.
a
No.
U-pipe
Right.
if I tried.
That's
Like,
not experience. That's trivia.
it's bullshit.
Yeah, a lot of it is.
Hey, you're cool. What do you do? Nothing. Want to have a beer? Cool. That's
Cool.
it. You know, like, and that
Yeah.
sounds incredibly fucking carefree and stupid, like some hippie nonsense. But in reality, it's like
I appreciate you saying all of that. Because if
everybody's
I take,
been intelligent and
if-
cool
if,
as
if,
shit.
If I
like,
take pride in what this show does, what I hope it does, is that it pulls a lot of people together that otherwise wouldn't come together under other circumstances. And using the very same technology that's used for fucking stupid purposes, we're able to connect with a whole bunch of other people who
Right.
can communicate with us. So my hope is that we're using it in such a way and doing this in such a way we're bringing those worlds together.
everybody's cool as shit, man.
You know? And that's what I hope we're doing here.
Everybody's
No?
cool. Everybody offers something.
Let me go into the chat
So
room
you're
for
trying
a
to say
second.
why can't it be like this everywhere, basically?
Why can't it be? Dude, remember,
Maybe it is, and we just
my
don't
Uncle
see it.
I'm the
Joe.
most optimistic cynic there is, man. It's like, this could be fucking awesome.
But
And
it's
you
probably not
people
gonna be.
suck ass. Like, every one of you walk around, you're like, I don't fucking like you, and you could be fixing
Dude,
you.
I can't believe how much I do that in my life.
Every
I
day.
walk around everywhere and I look
Every
at people and
day.
I go, what a piece of
I wanna
shit.
stop.
What a
I wanna
piece
stop
of
every day and be
shit.
like, you see
And-
this?
But
Don't
then,
do this.
But then,
Move on.
I have moments though. I have moments where I do it and I go, why am I doing that?
Why am I so terrible?
Look at that piece.
Because people are looking at me thinking that, right? But is that an American thing?
I don't think that at all.
I think
you
it's
make
human.
the briefest of
condition.
eye contact with a stranger, and the voice in the back of your head goes, and
No,
then there's this motherfucker.
Yeah, and then I go, this guy.
Scan.
What day is
Scan and
it?
go.
You know.
Well, I know
Yeah.
some of the people you look at every day. So.
Yeah, right. So
Not saying anything more than that.
It's just an illusion that people are. It's
What?
something that everyone makes up and believes and then lives that way, and it's so awful.
What? Everybody's their own illusion.
No, sometimes you'll be like, oh, does this shirt look okay? And I'm like, who gives a shit? Like, no one cares.
Right,
And like my point when I say that is like, if it doesn't, like, no one outside when you walk to your car is gonna give a shit at all.
Wait a minute.
And like no one cares.
Hold on.
My point is that like when you leave a place, usually thinking like, man, is this okay? Like, is my hair?
Wait, whoa.
Like the truth is, nobody gives a shit, and if they even notice, it'll be forgotten in less than a second. At most, you might be an
So, wait a
interesting blurb at their dinner
and you'll
table.
probably never see
But
them
my
again.
point is that that's set up that way. We're meant to believe people are watching us all the time. That's why there is Instagram
Wait.
and all this shit. We have to believe we're always being watched, so that way we buy all the shit that we have to put all over to cover up what we don't want people to see.
So does that mean that yesterday, when I asked you whether or not you
You're
thought
a
I should
victim
get,
of capitalism.
when
That's
you thought,
what that meant.
when I asked you if I would look better with a white gold grill at my bottom of my teeth, copper or platinum,
And my response
you
was,
said I was
ugh.
a fucking ugh, like I was an idiot.
That's a
That
no.
really is just a bunch of bullshit, right? Like I should just go ahead and get white gold teeth.
If that will make you
Dude, can I have
happy.
some money? Can I have some money?
But
Like,
sir,
if
That's what
Wait,
you
not
got
if-
from that story, then yes.
Thank you. All right.
shopping for grills? Like,
Shopping for grills.
give me some money.
I don't know. So, this article here says fakes. Wait, hold on. Before I do that, let me go to the chat because I haven't been there in a fucking minute. John, what's up, man? Good to see you. Rob is in the chat. B Rob from Random Ramblings with Rob. Dude, Rob, we're going to be doing, not this break, but the second break. We're going to be showing the ice in the face that you were on. Rob does a podcast in Texas called Random Ramblings with Rob, and it's fucking great. And he was here 2 weekends ago, and he did Ice in the Face with us. Sarah is in the chat. Universal basic income is brilliant and important. Colin, what's up? Awesome talk. Good to see you there. Stephen Van Vuren. Dude, Stephen Van Vuren, what the fuck, man? Dude, I can't believe that you're in the chat tonight. We are re-airing the interview that we did with you a few years ago tonight, and I actually wanted to talk to you about doing a new interview this season because In Saturn's Rings is like doing amazing right now. And we were there like, not at the beginning, but we were there early on.
Yeah, we were there 7 years on.
7 years on, we were there. John, let's see. Awesome talk. What's up, Rick? What's up, man? There was a meme about the emojis and hieroglyphics. I see Stones in the chat. I wish he would get his ass here. Did you buzz him in? Or let's see. My mom used to line dry paper towels.
What?
Wow.
You have to be so gentle.
Man.
Or they have to be
I
like
had-
extra
Wow.
bounty.
I had a friend growing up, and it was her mother was like old school Italian mother, came from Italy. So I think it was just how she was raised, and of course, didn't have a lot growing up. But she used to, when she used Reynolds wrap, she used to wash it and clean it and
Oh,
lay it
that's
out and dry it
terrible.
and reuse Reynolds wrap. So I remember I'd go in the kitchen, see Reynolds wrap
That's
like
interesting.
drying all over the place.
Never heard of that.
How do you
one.
do that
Yeah.
and not tear it?
I would
Could
just
you imagine if they did that shit with
wash
saran
it,
wrap?
rinse it off.
You want to save a couple bucks, you're going to find a way.
No
That's
shit.
true,
Does it
man.
still cling
Find a
after
way.
that?
Yeah.
I would imagine not.
It doesn't cling to start with. I don't understand Reynolds wrap. It doesn't
I-
work
If
with
you
the
do it
You're
right, it
talking about
does.
plastic.
You do-
Okay, I get it. I thought for a
You gotta
second
learn
you
how to
were
use
talking
it.
about.
How do you do it right? Because I feel like I
Yeah.
put it over
Use it.
shit and it just goes.
Well, it depends on the
Depends
the
on the
nature of
container.
what you're wrapping.
Not
Well,
after
if
a
it's-
while.
I
though.
feel like I gotta wrap it like this to get it to hold.
Exactly. You see these commercials, people like take a little piece, put
Yeah,
it
it's
around
like,
the bowl,
boom.
turn it upside down, pasta stays in.
Yeah,
That's
that's
all right.
bullshit.
I'm mummifying
Bullshit.
that
No,
shit.
I
No,
get
you
that.
have to roll
what
it.
you
You have
just
to roll
told
that
me.
bowl.
What
You're
you
not
just
going
told me
anywhere.
about Reynolds
You
wrap,
just
it
gotta
was that
stretch it a little
specialized
tiny
Reynolds
bit
wrap,
while
the
you're doing
blue
it.
thing where you're like,
It stays.
Reynolds wrap's a
But
bunch of
stretch it a little
bullshit.
bit.
It doesn't work.
We
Yeah,
use
Reynolds
those
and
things
his
that
wrap.
it
Yeah.
kind of looks like a shower cap.
yes,
There you
that's
go.
the shit.
yeah.
They are
Yeah.
machine washable. You put them in the machine
What?
and you
Where do
wash
I
Dude,
get
people
those?
that wash
I'm not
their
kidding.
baggies are psychos.
What kinds of
That
baggies?
is the worst, most germ-ridden nonsense I have ever
Like
heard.
Ziploc bags?
Yes.
You can hot wash your Ziploc bag.
No, but it's gonna
No!
get mold in there and mildew.
Not if you
It's not
put
gonna
burning
dry
hot
right.
water in it.
What is wrong with you? You would
me-
never do that.
I
If
wouldn't do
if I
it.
gave you food with a washed Ziploc bag, and I was like, "Here's your food," you would not just go.
I know,
to
she gives me
town.
like fish in an old Ziploc, like a W Ziploc
Here's
bag.
some brownies
Yeah,
mixed
I'm like-
with fish.
with a mostly dry paper towel.
Thanks for my cod brownies. Delicious.
But the
That's
problem
why
with
after you
the
use
bag,
the Ziploc bag, you turn it inside out and no.
And then you use the outside. It's just some fingerprints on it, but who gives a shit? You know? Let's see
Just
here.
tape it shut.
My uncle retired from sanitation at 30. Oh, fuck your uncle, man. His pension is sick.
Yeah,
He-
I bet.
he-
yeah, I was gonna
In the right
say to all the
town?
people that
Yo,
were doing the
where was he?
comparison
He wants
of
to
the
come on
garbage
the
man
show.
thing
Who does?
Keith.
I don't know.
Was,
I live with Keith.
Seriously.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Depending on what town or
was that most garbage men make a
He
hell
might
of a
not
lot
want
of
to
money.
come on now after fuck your uncle.
I didn't really mean
That's
fuck his
pretty
uncle.
dick.
I'm just fucking jealous of his. Do you
Read
see?
the rest
Let
of
me
it.
tell you something. It goes right back to the
read-
start of
read
the
the rest of
conversation. Let me see. He umpires Staten Island Yankee games and drives a school bus in the off season. Happiest guy I know. I love it.
That's awesome.
I love it.
The umpires
love
are
it.
just rando dudes that just.
Will he
are
bring
like
his uncle
the,
on?
They're like the field
I mean,
umpire
ask
for
the
that
camera.
area.
He's watching it
He's
right
one.
now.
He's here.
Dude, I want you to bring your uncle on. The
Like
Yankees.
umpires are like sheriffs. There's one for every like location. Like they just.
I don't.
Like he's an umpire
Well, it's
and
like
he has
ref-
his own domain, and then
Referees in the
teams-
NFL aren't full time. They all have other bullshit jobs. They just do all
Right.
that shit part time.
Is there like a referee union or something?
There's got to be a
Probably.
referee. union,
Yeah,
I-
but
I
all those
doubt
guys
it.
out there are
NBA
like
has it.
lawyers or business owners or all this other bullshit. They just do this fucking
Other-
4
Staten
months a year.
Island Yankee game.
What?
What is a Staten Island Yankee game?
What is a Staten Island Yankee?
Who said that? Oh,
Kevin
Does he
Speroni.
live in
Umpires
Staten
Staten Island
Local
Yankee games.
Staten Island.
Yeah, Yankee games
the
that
Yankees.
take place.
When was Yankees
But
ever
Yankees
in Staten
don't
Island?
play
No,
in
no,
Staten
league,
Island.
the league, not New York.
Is there a
I didn't
Yankee
even
league?
catch that. I'm glad you.
Oh,
caught
okay.
that.
I don't know
didn't even
baseball.
catch that. I thought
Yeah,
he was
man, that
talking about
fucker went
living
right
in
past
Staten
me,
Island.
dude.
I'm pretty
Staten
sure that's
Island.
what it is. He's definitely not.
What's it like a minor?
He must,
Hold on a
there must-
minute.
There must be a amateur
Yeah, it's
club
probably
called
there.
the Yankees in Staten
Okay.
Island.
It's the Yankees with a Z at the end.
Thank you, Michael Mayhem from Scarlet Carson's in the chat. He says I should get the platinum teeth. I agree.
There you go.
I agree.
Jesus.
Actually, I kind of liked platinum or white gold.
Get rhodium.
Let's
Get
see.
crushed up on Christmas ornaments.
Crushed up Christmas ornament teeth. I'd love to appear on this show. John, you know what, dude? You would be pretty good here. I still want to see Rick with a platinum grill. Okay, well, you know
Why,
what?
why are you saying still? That just
Minor
happened.
league Yankees. There you
Minor
go.
league Yankee
Minor league
affiliate,
affiliate,
man.
there you go.
Ah,
And by the way, I didn't say fuck your uncle because actually fuck your uncle. It's because it's exactly what we were talking about here earlier. The guy's
No
doing well.
backpedaling. You
He's doing
insulted
no.
him. He's insulted.
His uncle's doing well. Did well young, and you know what my reaction is? Fuck you.
If you ever,
You know,
if you
like,
ever had a
Dude,
Yankees
if
game
you're
in
willing
Staten
to go
Island,
through
I'd
that
watch
kind
out
of work
if I
for
were
that
you.
many years,
Right.
then you could retire that young.
Sure. Is that right?
A lot of people, I've known a few people that have done that, doing sanitation.
Sometimes I think hippies are right. Sometimes I think it's just all about you're born, you're naked, you have sex, you do drugs, you run around in the field, and then like that's it. You die, and like why isn't
My
that?
uncle's sanitation. Like he can make money. It's. I agree.
With me?
Yeah, I agree.
Why can't people be doing that?
Yeah.
I don't
Wait.
get it.
You gotta be willing to do it.
It's not easy work. Like people that are just like, oh fuck it, I'll just be a garbage man and then I'll make a lot of money. It's like, yeah, but
But my
you're saying
uncle,
that
my
like
cousin made
that's
fortune off
nothing.
it.
Like it's
Yeah.
like
Garbage
there's
man
no
is a
work
hard job.
involved.
Right,
It's
yeah,
right, right.
involves
It all depends on
garbage.
what-
Like it's
where you're
still
working,
you're
you
still
have to-
getting up. You're
30.
still going to work. Like
Right.
I mean, anything you could do any job till you're 30.
I mean, it's a lot of heavy lifting.
No.
Here's the thing: when you retire, okay, you're 30. What do you do?
Staten Island Yankee
Anything you
game.
want.
Whatever you
Hold
want.
on. Hold on a
Whatever you
minute.
want.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but that's the thing.
You
When you
live your
retire,
life
you
now.
gotta find something
You
new.
work
It's
hard and then
hard.
you live the
It's
rest of
hard
your
to be
life
like,
the
what
way
am I
you
gonna do? Am I gonna
If
pump
I made $1
gas?
million
Like,
in the
what's your
stock
pension
market?
like? What's your retirement?
If I made $1
like?
million, well,
Start a
$5 million.
podcast. Learn the guitar.
That's it.
Do
Right. Be
something.
creative.
Yeah.
This month I'm
Right?
a photographer. Next month I'm a fucking painter. The month
That's it.
after that,
That's
I'm a
exactly
musician.
it,
I don't
right?
give a fuck.
You do
That
whatever the fuck you
sounds
want.
amazing.
Yeah. do whatever the fuck I
You
want.
guys remember Tom, the guy who owned MySpace?
Yeah.
He sold
Yeah.
MySpace for $30 million. And the last picture I've ever
Recently,
seen,
or?
no, years
Oh,
ago,
years
to
ago.
Justin Timberlake.
Because
And
it's still open. It's still there.
No,
It's
he
still there.
started.
There's
he
an
sta-
awesome
He
talk
restarted
MySpace.
as a musical space. So
Right.
that
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
Like
Yeah, Justin
artists can
Timberlake
share
took it,
stuff
right?
My
Yeah,
shitty
yeah,
band
yeah.
was on there.
the last picture of Tom I saw, we all know the one picture of him where he's like,
Yeah.
the last picture of him that I saw, he was backpacking in a mountain somewhere, and he was like this, and he was like, I sold MySpace for $30 million like 10 years ago. He's like, this is all I do now. I just go around places and do things. He goes, and that's my whole life, and I love it. And I'm like, that's the whole world. Like, how much more fulfilled would you be if you were able to see every
But for
inch
him-
of Earth
Oh,
and do
God, hell
everything
yeah.
before
That's
you
a
die?
different level
You run
of
out of shit.
retirement.
I
though.
just started twitching thinking about it.
Well, listen to what you're saying. It's retirement. Why does it need to be retirement?
Because he's not.
It's a dirty word.
I keep hearing that word. I
It's a
hate
dirty
that
word.
Because people's associated
It's a
with
promise.
age.
Yeah, it was
It's a
age.
promise. It's like, oh, I'm going to get to the end of
Listen.
the road and then I can experience.
Let me help his uncle
Yeah.
out, okay?
Yeah,
Don't
why?
say he
Why does it
retired.
have to be
Say
like
he
that?
stopped doing some shit he didn't like. And now he's umpiring for the Yankees and he drives a bus because he fucking loves it.
Yeah.
Man, I'd love to whip a bus around.
I wish more people would, like, responsible people would drive school buses, because the people around my area are terrible. They're the worst drivers I've ever seen.
Because again, they probably don't want to do it.
They
Right.
stop right in the
And they're
middle of four-way
miserable.
intersections, like, let the kids out, screw it. Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah,
What
that's-
if somebody's
Do they-
brakes
do they
go
have
out?
seatbelts
Four-way
in
intersection.
school buses
Seriously,
yet?
what if there's a mechanical
Wow.
error?
Right.
Like the older kids, they don't
Seriously,
use
like,
it.
what-
I don't
what
know.
then? You're just gonna get
When
smashed.
did they
Yeah,
have-
right.
When did they put them there? They didn't have seatbelts in
No,
school
they've been
buses
in a
when we
while.
were little. Right?
Not when we were
My
little.
kids
By middle school, I
started
think they did.
school when they were 3 because they went to a special like preschool, and we had to put them. They had car seats on the school bus.
Holy shit.
Because they were only 3
Wow.
years old, so we had to literally go on the bus and put them in the car seat
There's no
on the
seatbelts.
school bus.
I can
went to
remember,
school.
right, I can remember
Yeah.
being 5
when
years
I
old.
went, they didn't have it. They have them now.
Your seatbelt was the seat in front of you.
But we,
Yeah,
what
we-
we
that's-
used to
that's
do
how
is
it
when I was
was.
5 is we would go to the back of the bus on purpose because that was the most turbulent area of the bus.
You catch
And we would
air.
sit on our
You hit
knees.
the ceiling
Yeah.
at times.
You'd sit on your knees because when you hit a bump, you would be like, you'd almost hit the ceiling and come back down. You know what I mean? That was fucking
We had a
dope.
kid actually hurt himself really bad.
See, why can't you just do that for your whole life?
Sit in
Why
the back
can't I
of
just
the
ride in the
bus.
back of the
Yeah.
bus my whole
Ride the
life?
back of the
They just put
bus.
some ice on it. They didn't care.
Hold on, there's more stuff in the
For a
chat.
helmet, that's
Put
all.
some ice on it. That was the cure for everything in our school.
Let's see. Jesus Christ. Let's see. Hippies experience life. You do whatever the fuck you want. Everyone should retire at 30.
That's right.
Do
That's
whatever
right.
makes you happy, says John.
right.
I'm gonna be a cop
Gotta be
and nothing's
7 years
stopping
in.
me. Mine too. Horrible, crazy bus drivers. You don't retire. You finally start doing what you've always wanted to do, unless you're a workaholic. But even if you're a workaholic,
if
that might
that's
be
what
what you
you
want to
always
do.
wanted.
Got up at 3 a.m., was home by 11 a.m. every day. My point being is he's loving his life after suffering through an awful job. The payoff was worth it. I wish I did it. He's on his second job, could be doing whatever he wants. Could go back to school, learn another trade, etc. So fuck yeah, I agree. Fuck yeah, man. All right, look,
He
guys.
says, "Fuck that guy."
Fuck that
Fuck
guy.
his uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
That's
it's
my
like you
roommate.
see people when they people are happier when I think they hit that second stage of life where
Yeah.
it's like, all right, I'm going to retire, but now I'm going to do what I really love. Like
Right.
my kids, when they were born, they were preemies. They were in the NICU for like a month.
Right.
And I remember that first couple of days, my one son, the nurses wouldn't let me hold him. He was hooked up to all the wires and everything. I couldn't hold him.
Right.
I remember one night I'm in there and I'm looking at my son and I'm just, touching him, and this male nurse comes up, elderly gentleman, and he goes, don't you want to hold your son? I'm like, yeah, but I was told I can't. He goes, who the hell told you that? I said, all the other nurses. He said, you sit down, you're going to hold your son. And he said, they just don't want to do all the work and get all the wires and move
Wow.
everything. And he sat down and then he started talking to me, saying that was his second career. He did something else his
yeah.
entire life.
Wow.
He said he always wanted to be a nurse. He always wanted to be with babies. And
he's
he was
where
in
he
his
wants to be.
60s. He's doing what he wants to do.
he's
He
where he should have
loves
been.
it.
Right.
And
Right.
I will always have this man's face in my head my
Right.
entire life, because he's the man who turned around and said, hold your son, and had me hold my child for the first time
'Cause he
when
was
nobody
willing-
else would.
he was not
because
just
he loved his
willing,
job.
he loved it.
He
That's
loved
what it
his
was.
job.
Yeah.
Everybody else was just miserable.
Imagine you just do what
Just
you love
think,
forever.
for now on, that guy has the same story about you, and he's like, and the first time she ever held her.
That's true.
It's
He's on
because
another
I
podcast
said,
right now.
God damn those
You're
words.
gonna hold your baby.
You're gonna hold your baby.
And I said to her, God damn it!
And they're telling the story at the same time.
Yeah,
Right, on another
exactly.
podcast.
They really hit a
This is over on
split
Amazing
screen.
Chat right now.
I'll never forget the look
We
on
need
your
to find
face.
him. Bring him in here.
Let's see. Second stage, by the time I retire, I'll be on the 88th stage of my life. That's what I want to fucking do, that kind of shit. Haha, I love my crazy high school bus driver. There was a pothole at the end of my street.
Oh my god.
My bus driver would tell us to hold on and
They
would
on
floor it.
purpose. Yeah. We had a driver like that. They would do it.
Now that makes me react in two different ways. Number one, I say to myself, can't get away with that shit anymore. And on the other hand, I go, should we be getting away with that shit anymore?
This shit was fun.
You
It was
know
the
what I
only
mean?
fun you had in school.
We got through it.
on the way back.
Like, I think everybody's like a bunch of freaking
But if it
wimps
happened now,
today.
I feel like if you
Such
felt,
bullshit.
I feel like if you knew your kids were on a school bus where the school bus driver went, "Hey, hold on, motherfuckers," and he floored it, I feel like people with kids would be pissed about it. Like I
Yes,
feel
like
like,
if my kids came home and told me, my first reaction would be like cracking up, saying, "Are you kidding me?" And then
Right.
I would be like, "I am a parent, and
How
I
do you prove
probably
it?
should get mad at this and do something."
Right.
But I'm gonna laugh at the moment about
right.
this because it's pretty funny, and I probably tell my kids, "Did you hold on? Did you, whatever?"
I am
But
stuck between the shit we used to be allowed to get away with, and now whether or not it was okay to get away with any of it.
Isn't it kind of like it's a tattletale thing? Like, everything's turned into a liability, so even the kids are like, it scared me, I don't want to be scared.
Yeah, right.
See, the drivers that did it in our school, they would know, like, if certain kids were in the bus, they wouldn't do it.
Right.
They knew who
Yeah.
was the rat.
Right, so you
And they
you
wouldn't
know,
do it.
like, you can't do this because
Sorry,
somebody's
there
home. It's
Yeah,
like,
you'd be like,
Timmy.
wait till later.
Sorry, Timmy,
like,
later
you
when
drive
this
in the
guy's
bus,
off the
it was like,
bus.
you know, and not
what
everybody
would
was
they have done?
Otto.
The parents would have picked up the phone,
Simpsons, you know what I
probably
mean?
a rotary phone, would have taken them 4 minutes to dial another
I'm
parent
gonna-
and complain about it, and then by the next morning, everything's fucking gone.
Right.
can't
Yeah,
prove
right.
it.
Now the parents will be fucking live tweeting it at the bus
The
stop.
students are
kids-
live
all the
streaming
kids are
it.
filming
Right,
it.
right.
The kids will be
So
filming
it's all-
it. And
I think a
it's
lot
It's
of
a
it comes
completely
down
different-
It's
it's a
a learning
completely different area.
experience.
Listen,
like,
the tail
learning
end-
experience that you don't have. The shit that's like, oh fuck, you fell, you hurt
Right.
yourself. It doesn't happen now without
No, right.
liability. So like everything is shit. Keep them wrapped in this
Exactly.
There's
bubble
a
wrap.
record of
Right.
everything
And then they
now.
grow up and they're like, I'll fucking sue you. Like that was a
Right.
yuppie culture thing, and now
Back in
it's
the day,
like
now it's like
full blown
the thing. Yeah, right. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why they have that free range kid movement and all that stuff.
Yeah, like let your
They get
kid
kids-
go do what we did 20
They
years
have
ago.
kids that
Like,
they're actually giving them unsupervised time, like they'll
Holy
turn loose
shit.
on this playground with boards with nails in them. And
Right, right.
Can I tell you something? As somebody who doesn't have kids and never wants them, you just said that, and I actually had an emotional reaction because of how brainwashed I've become. You said unsupervised kids, and I almost went, "Whoa, no good!" And but I wasn't supervised every
Yeah,
fucking
how many
minute.
times are you
I
reading
would hope at 10
articles where
o'clock.
cops are picking up kids who are playing in the playground?
Oh my
4
God,
blocks
no
from the home?
shit.
Cops that, yeah,
With no- and they're like,
kids that
we
are
just called
walking home
typhus,
from
come with
school
that.
and
Like,
cops
are you
are going
fucking
to
serious?
their parents'
Right,
house
right.
because they let
When I,
their
dude,
kids
when I
walk
was a
home.
kid,
I was riding a bike around
Right.
the cul-de-sac at 8.
exactly.
Yeah.
Making
You left,
fucking
you left your
spam
house
for
at like
myself
11
at
o'clock in
9
the
years
morning,
old
and you
with a-
came back
with
when
a
it was
stove.
dark.
But hold on, one more question now. With everything that you're seeing now about kidnappings and sex trafficking and what it's
that
worth,
stuff's not any more prevalent than it was 40 years ago.
That's right.
I don't know,
That's
but
right.
is it or isn't it though?
It's not.
Don't you
No,
think
it's
the
more
internet's
reported.
gonna worse?
About
It's
it
more.
more.
Well, I
It's
think
more
you
reported.
know it
seen.
more now because of social media
That's
and the
right,
news
yeah.
and that. So you just
You're
know.
right.
I think
It
it's
was
the
more-
same
it was
amount.
more.
It
Wow.
was just
But it
hidden
was
and
just as
quiet
much-
Each
years
and every
ago.
one of us had a
Population.
creepy neighbor that was probably
Oh, yeah,
staring
we
at
all
us
knew
while
that.
we were
The creepy
children.
God,
neighbors
you're
around
totally
the block.
doing
Doing stuff.
Raping
Oh,
us
yeah.
without getting talked to. Like,
Yeah.
Without getting talked.
No, it's like, oh, that's
nobody showed up and was like, you probably should.
that's just
do
crazy,
Yeah, right.
Earl. He's just like that.
that." Right, like you,
It's
you
okay.
didn't know.
But so
Nobody
many things
talked
back
about
in the
it.
day were like that. Like I was talking to somebody. I always bring this up in the show about what a social norm is. How much shit people used to get away with. But at the time, people didn't think they were getting away with something. It's just the
It was the
fucking way it
normal,
was.
but now it's
Oh,
not normal. So
yeah,
what was
I can
normal
act like a
20 years ago
sexist
is
asshole
now
in
not
public.
appropriate.
Right.
Which
I
is
can-
crazy. Who the frick decided that? Who decided that?
there's
And it
something.
really depends on what it is, right?
It depends on what it
There's
is,
so
right.
many different fucking
Well, yeah,
items to
like
look at,
you may think it's inappropriate. I may think it's perfectly fine. Like it's,
Right.
now we
Small-
got
a
to
small
bend
group of
to
people
everybody.
decided
I think what the problem is, though, is that people that think that it's perfectly fine, or like I said, it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
If you're talking
Right.
about like racial, sexual, whatever it might be. But things that are inappropriate in public.
Right.
Everybody knows it, and it's fine because it's just wrong,
Right.
Right.
right? That
Manners.
doesn't make it inappropriate to be a joke or whatever else to anybody else.
Right.
And
Right.
in privacy, it's not frowned upon because it's amongst the people that you know.
Yeah.
Whether they be of the same kind that you're making fun of, or
Right,
the
right,
people
right,
that you're
right,
making
right.
fun of because no one else is listening to it,
Yeah.
except for Alexa.
Dude, you're right. You're right,
Right.
The
man.
problem is, where's the line?
There is
Right.
something
where's
about
the line,
the-
and you can't
right.
blame somebody and go, "You're racist, you're bigot, all that shit."
You just
because of
shouldn't
the
be doing
times
it out
change.
here.
But the
Keep that shit to yourself.
But you're right, man. But the private
That's
and
the
public
etiquette.
life is different. So like a
Private life is public life now.
But it's
Yeah.
not.
Right.
You're right. It's right there.
right.
Yeah.
It's right here.
But-
like
but
this
here's the thing.
conversation
Here's the
is
thing.
a conversation
So let's
between
not-
friends at a bar.
Let's not take it that
It's
extreme,
not-
right? Let's so in private, right? If you have friends that are all different races, all different genders, all different sexual
You can
orientations,
say
all
to
that things,
those
right?
friends, I floor that goddamn bus and I watch those kids fly up into the sky. But
And
you
fuck
can't
them.
say that at the PTA meeting.
Right, right.
Well, see, even this though, this is like private because they choose to watch it. In public, people have no choice to hear you.
Right.
Right,
You know,
right.
You're there; they have ears.
But there's another thing too where like I feel like there's a lot of things that get caught now and put into the public that aren't a representation of reality. Like
No,
there are certain
no.
things like they're like okay so if you're with a group of your friends and like I said all of you are different races, different genders, different sexual orientations, right? And you're all close good friends. How many fucked up jokes do you crack amongst
All the
you?
time.
All the time.
All the time.
Now take one of those friends and have them live stream it and put it out in the world, and now those moments define you as
But
a
that 10
person.
seconds will
And
blow
monetize
the
the
fucking
video.
yeah.
Right, and they make money off of your fucking
World
Sadness.
and all of a sudden it becomes this is what you really think. And it's
Right.
like, and you're like, no, this is my friend, and your friend's like, this is my friend, and now they're mad at your friend for backing your ass
Right.
up because he should be mad at you, but he's not. And it's like a whole
That's
other.
literally the existence of our friendship. Like things you and I shouldn't complain about,
Right.
but we're friendly about it. Like doesn't mean anything. It's just commentary. That's where the world is lost, right?
Yeah.
I have a conversation with you, I have a conversation with him, I have a conversation with her, and it could be about 3 different viewpoints on the same topic. And you just can't listen to people,
Yeah.
you know? Turns into
Nobody wants
exactly
to
what
listen
you're
to anybody.
saying. Immediately, you're the problem. You're the problem. You're the problem. This is we should have this conversation.
Right.
There's no more like agree to disagree. It's like everybody's
Right.
offended. Like you have to believe my views and everything that I say. Every single person has to believe what I'm saying. Nobody can just be like, okay, cool. Like
you
I don't
reserve-
get it.
Sure.
I don't like it, but
Right.
you know what?
Yeah,
Hey,
unless
cool.
it's like a solid
You
fact
reserve
Like-
to
that can't
like
be
you
debated.
reserve to
Right.
like a person for who
Let
they
you an
are,
opinion and
Yeah.
that's it.
regardless
Sure.
of certain viewpoints
Right.
on things.
We're not a bunch of
or
robots,
you
we're
reserve
all
the right to
freaking
be like,
sane.
I don't like anything about
Right.
you, and I'm just going to avoid
Right.
you.
And at
But
the
it's like you
same
have all these
time-
people now that are trying to make everybody a robot, and
Right.
this is what everybody needs to be. This
Right.
is what you need to say. This is what you need to think. Like,
But on both sides of that
So-
similar kind of argument too, we also now have people where it's like I get into a conversation with you,
Don't worry.
but I'm not willing to even allow my perception to be shifted a little by what you might say. If you disrupt my cement point of view, then fuck you. So it's exactly what you're saying. It's exactly what it is.
But
Yeah.
there, I mean,
Because people don't
there are
like
topics.
to make concessions for what they believe is to be real. Like, for example, you support Bernie Sanders. If I knew without a doubt some shady shit, like he like molested his grandkid, and I told you that, it would be so hard for you to automatically believe me or want to.
Once
to
upon
the
a time
point
it would
where
be, but not
most
now.
I mean,
But I know what you mean.
generally
I
speaking,
know generally,
for
yeah,
most
yeah, sure,
people, they don't want to believe something that's going to make them feel like
I know.
their judgment might have been
they made the wrong choice.
lesser
or
than
whatever.
it
Dude,
should
what's
have
so
been.
agonizing
yeah,
to
so
me-
it's easier to
and-
accept. That's why you have people that supported Trump in the beginning found out that everything they supported him about was a lie and still support him, because that's better than saying,
Right.
I
I
don't think
was
I
wrong
had the
and I'm
best
an idiot.
judgment.
Right.
Yeah.
But same
You don't
thing.
even have to
but hey,
go that
Same
far.
thing with the Clintons.
You
Same
don't
thing with
even-
Barack Obama. Same thing with George Bush. It's the same kind of thing. My team needs to win.
Exactly.
My perspective needs to win. And guess what? All of them did deplorable, inhumane, totally fucked up things that supporters did not want to fucking. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to allow their perspective to be fucking
Yeah, because
shattered
as soon
by
as
it.
you have team mentality about something, it doesn't matter. The facts can be not the way you want.
Sure.
Because the overall team that you support
Your
is still the
perspective
team
becomes
you
a
support.
football team.
What's a football team?
But there
What it
there
is,
are
yeah.
also topics that go beyond the whole. Well, we'll just have to agree to disagree. There are certain areas
Sure.
Well, you're wrong. That's right. Like that's.
When somebody says, if
If
you agree to
like,
disagree,
you can
really,
agree
it
to
just
disagree.
means
You're
you're
like,
wrong.
but you can't.
Exactly.
You're
No,
wrong.
it's not a catch-all for
Right.
everything.
Here's the facts.
I think we can all agree, you know, that
disagree.
having sex with
Totally.
infants is bad.
Right.
Right.
But if somebody
I-
says,
oh,
well,
we
you know,
agree to
I don't know,
disagree,
we'll
you're
have
like,
to agree to disagree. No, fuck you.
But yeah, but they're so
There
true
are
to
some
that
things
because a
that
lot of
doesn't
people are
cover all
taking benign terms that make sense and applying them to their own bigoted bullshit.
No, absolutely.
It's like some white nationalist is like, are my views too controversial for you? And I'm like, no, they're not controversial. They're just fucking stupid, dude. Like, and that's not an argument, man. And I had that happen on Twitter.
Right.
Like, because I automatically follow people on Twitter who follow me, and I followed some podcast. And like, I looked at it for a second, and I realized the description was like, hashtag all these white nationalists in jail, and like KKK and all this shit, and I was like, whoa! And I like unfollowed it instantly. The motherfucker emailed me, and he was like, what's the matter? I saw you followed us and then unfollowed us. Are our views a little bit too controversial? And I'm like, they're not controversial. I'm like, they're just
suck.
fucking stupid. Like, and that's not debatable.
Right.
Don't throw the word controversial around now like you're lightening the problem. Like, you're just wrong in some instances.
Yeah.
But that's a problem too, because now people who are wrong are using that argument and that argument to say, well, you just don't agree with my point of view. And it's making it really hard to have conversations with people.
Yeah.
Because the compass is so fucked up that, like,
Well, it has to be socially hashed out where the line is. Like, there's a line beyond which you don't have to engage.
Right.
So we might all agree where the line is. Like, you know, baby sex sorry, I forgot your name.
I thought that was his, like, his stripper name.
No, I wasn't calling him that. Baby sex. Right, but that kind of
And this is the part that everybody's going to watch.
Yeah, right.
it's kind of a
What the
moving
hell,
target,
baby
and it
sex?
has to be socially
Right.
negotiated.
Sure.
Where we're going to put the line, what's controversial and is a fit subject for argument, and what's beyond the pale.
Yeah.
And with Trump and everything, I mean, it seems like the line has again moved.
It has moved. Yeah, totally.
Well,
Yeah.
if the Catholics have their way, they'll be killing all of us soon enough anyway.
I think that was actually my point. I
What?
think religion has paved the way for this kind of thinking since the beginning, since like people have been born. Because like
Yeah.
it's kind of like that same kind of mentality. It's like you believe this, whatever you're saying, I don't want to hear it because it's gonna mess with my belief.
Right.
And people have been hanging on to that their whole lives.
You know what's
So
worse than that?
Then it's crossing over to sports.
Right.
It's crossing over to politics.
Yeah, but
It's
there's
it crosses over to a lot of things.
I agree with you 100%. But there's also another level to that that's even worse. It's not just that, oh, you're fucking with my beliefs. It's that if I think like you, I'm gonna go to hell. So I didn't even think of it in that way.
There's a lot of different aspects to it.
Yeah, twisted.
But I think that they all kind of go down that same road.
Yeah.
Or the old
Everything
blamed
is-
liberals for the least issues with having sex with all the kids.
It's all
yeah.
liberals. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always
I mean,
liberals.
yeah, it's liberals' fault. Right?
You don't even have to be a liberal to be
They
like
did it.
Everything
not a
is so
liberal, and I'm
enmeshed
like,
with
what the
each other
fuck?
now. It's not even just the religion thing and what you believe. It's like you were saying before. It's the desire to win. It's the desire to be
Yeah,
victorious.
the desire to win. That's
How
what it
many
is.
of these religious people, if they didn't have somebody in the White House right now who was pushing their specific agenda,
Right.
would they not be out there on the mountaintop berating this guy for all the bullshit that he's done?
Yeah.
What, 5 kids with 4 different women that he's cheated on, but the evangelicals are like, yes, he's our savior. God
Right, what
meant
the
for him to
fucking
be
fuck,
there.
dude?
That's another whole, we agree to disagree. No, that's
It's
not a
weird.
religion.
It's I want my team to win.
I'm willing to
Oh, they want the
forego my
second coming
beliefs
of
at
Jesus.
points in
Right.
order to
They want
win.
Jesus to come back down, and what's going to end up happening is just going to be a big ash pile.
Well, just
Good
read
job,
2
guys.
Corinthians.
Fucking-
And you know what, Stones? He's never coming. He's never coming back, Stones. He's never coming back.
2 Corinthians.
Let me take a look at the chat room real quick, and then we're going to cut to our break. There are, hold on, let's see here. second stage. By the time I retire, okay, I already read that. Let's see, I already read that. Felicia, what's up, Felicia? She's going to be on the show this season. See, my bus driver was sued. Post above. I was always told to act like the rank you want to be in the military. I converted that to acting like what I want to be in life. I want to be a cop. I've helped several people on the side of the road, no matter what time of day it is. If I can help, I will go out of my way to. I had a conversation with somebody recently who said they wanted to be a cop, and the only thing I could say to that person was, I'm so thankful that you want to be, because I meet so many people who say that who should not be near a weapon or a badge. You can get arrested for having free-range kids. Just letting him walk in the park alone. It's insane.
Really? You could be arrested for that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this woman got arrested, what was it, like a year ago? She went to a job interview, and her kid was 9, I think.
Yeah.
Their kid was in the park while the mother went to the job interview, and she got arrested.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Well,
totally.
what's the age limit for that? Like
There
13?
is
You got to be
no age.
30.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to be 30 now to not get
No age
arrested.
documented, and it's
I mean, car seats are what, 10 and 5'2" now?
Yeah, you gotta look
Dude,
like a 38.
you know what?
Being
I'm
19.
sorry to do this, guys.
17, it's like, what?
There are so many good fucking comments in the chat that are going to fuel this conversation, but we really need to cut to our first break. We're mad late for it. So in our first break, we have the last time Rob Marchi was on, he performed at DJ Alien. We also we're re-airing the interview with Steven Van Buren, the creator of In Saturn's Rings, the IMAX film that has just in the last year or two started to tour the country, and it's starting to blow up, and it's so amazing it will make you cry. And then we'll be back in about 25 minutes, and we'll pick up this conversation. We'll pick up in the chat. Everybody share this fucking video. Tell everybody to come here and watch this and get in the conversation. And we'll see you back here in about 25 minutes while we turn the goddamn air conditioning on. All right. Matt, let me know when we're over.
Ready when you're ready.
Big up to Awesome Talk, though, huh?
Ready when you're ready.
I'm ready when I'm ready.
Whenever you want to drop that. Yeah. Like, whenever you want it, you might get it. Don't swan it, you're the next is the epic. Don't sweat it, don't forget the kinetic energy flexing. Check how we do it in Belmar from Trenton. I took 95 to the east of direction. Not to mention everything was flexing. The rain started falling, the beat started calling, and Rob said, you better do that shit that making people just bob head and rock with it, non-stop dropping. Everything is cool, yeah. Don't you assume an assumption, cause I have to switch the function in your face. Come to a mason and leave the whole trail blazing. Everything is cool, we had a discussion about the nation and all the fucking type of shit that's mad and crazed in the installation and the flayed education and the financial institution, the shit they're producing and the way that they're moving. Keep it cool when I'm cruising. Yeah, my man Matt Rockasset is producing the whole ill material. Yeah, in the morning with the cereal, I bring it back together with material you never heard of. I bring it from the outer galaxies, off of my noggin, yeah. Make a little salary, but it's never enough because the stuff costs too much in this life we live. So what's up? Yeah, straight off the noggin, off the top. That's how we do it when my man Rob, when we rock. So yo, I'm about to give a little flex as he takes a little breath and go on to the next. And like back to the dirt, I return, let it burn again. Turn clock back to the boom bap and make them learn. It's how we burn when we rock it in the set. Live and kinetic with edge energy, we flex so they have something to spit with it. We'll spit shit till they split and they spit liquid. Form fitted, lyrical, clothes, beats, and artistry, not just an addition. It's a part of me. Rock to the rhythm I'm living, I put my heart in it. I'm just a sub in the game, I didn't start in it, but I'ma make a run now. Some way and somehow. 5 consonants, 1 vowel, spin the wheel. I'm so tired of spinning wheels. I don't like division, but I'ma say how I feel. Truth over fiction, regardless of truth's friction. The gaps need bridging like when there's a tooth missing. Who few will listen to such as I backslidden in these days when more and more less of a F's given. Text written, sorted, distorted, a small fortune worth none to some, to others a small fortune. This is a mic check, check that gut. How does it feel? Have you had enough? Awesome Talk season just starting to get warmed up. yup, like this. It's a mic check that gut. How does it feel? Have you had enough? Awesome talk is just starting to get warmed up. Yup. Peace. Respect. Thanks, y'all.
Hey.
Peace, Rick. Thank you, man.
God, you guys
Rob,
put out
man.
a fucking album.
It's mad fun, yeah.
We're walking around a park right now. Been here for, I don't know,
Not all of us.
about 30 minutes or so, and we're about to come across the lawnmower, man. We've tried to ask people, but they keep thinking that we're referring to the horror movie. So they just kind of look at us and keep walking. I don't know what to do yet, but there are garbage cans that are missing garbage, and there's some that have garbage. This is us sleuthing the white trash way.
Yeah, we're fucking Batman.
So, everybody, this is Awesome Talk, and we're here with Steven Van Vuren. I am Rick.
I am Andrew.
Sarah.
And, yeah, so here we are. Go ahead.
Before we start with questions, I just thought maybe if you can describe your movie a little, just for people who might not. I mean, we've been sharing stuff about this for the past couple of weeks now, but for anyone who's watching who does not know anything about it, if you can just give a small description so people know what we're talking about.
Okay, sure. I'm doing this basically crazy idea, which is I wanted to make a film that people would feel like they're actually flying through space. And the way I decided to do that was well, I mean, CGI is CGI, and it can look cool, but it doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
So I decided to use real photographs. And it's a little hard to use real photographs, but the results are pretty awesome. And, once I had a little footage go viral, this kind of went from a one guy in his basement to a group of all volunteers scattered around the world that are putting this thing together. And it is still being basically created in my basement. And if you need
Yes.
Yes.
Whoa,
It's actually kind of amazing how similar that room looks to the room we're in, because there's cameras dangling from ceilings. And
I think that the major difference is you have a lot more LCD screens than we do, but we might beat you out when it comes to cats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we definitely won there.
I have a question. You said you made that comment about people that says stuff like, "Oh, people are starving. We don't need to fund this." It stuck out to me because I've had so many arguments with people I know. Whenever something scientific comes on the news, I know a lot of people that are like, "Why do we waste our money on this when there's people to worry about here and blah blah blah? It's such a waste." And it always makes me so angry because I know how important it is, and people don't really understand the amount of things that they have just in their daily life that came from scientific research, NASA's research, and was part of you making this movie, because when the first time I saw this trailer, which was quite a while ago, one of the it brought tears to my eyes, and one of the things I thought was, now those people will be able to look with their own eyes and say, this is why it's worth it to fund these projects, because of what I'm looking at right now.
Right.
This is real. This is as real as we could possibly get right now. Maybe this will make people understand why those things matter. Was that part of it, or was it more like, I just really want to make this movie happen?
No, that's 110% of what this film is about. I mean, you're absolutely connecting to the core. That's a good anger. Because what happened, the whole reason I got started down doing this is I had read Carl Sagan's Cosmos when I was a kid.
Yes.
And he talked about this moon Titan. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. We have to go to Titan.
Yeah.
I mean, we just have to.
Still.
So I was just another geek following the the Cassini mission to Saturn, and it had this lander. It has a spacecraft that's going to land on Titan. And I was like, I expected. I mean, I was an idiot. I thought there was going to be news coverage and they would do parades and all this kind of crap because we're landing a spacecraft 1 billion, kilometers from Earth on a moon that's much larger than our moon.
And not even knowing what the surface was going to be like that we were landing on. Or is it even going to be stable? It lasted way longer than we thought it would.
Yeah.
We had no idea.
When Cassini got to Titan, I don't know if you guys remember, but there wasn't any live coverage other than you could go to NASA's website.
It was 2007.
320 by 240 little video of the Cassini arrival and then the Huygens landing. And I was so angry. And the result of the anger is this film. Because I was like, it's because people don't think it has anything to do with them.
Yeah.
But I said, if people were there, if they were flying through those rings, then it'd be the biggest thing ever.
Right.
So that's making this film.
Although the one thing I want to say the one thing I want to say then is I'm kind of glad that they pissed you off.
Yeah.
Because just even with just the teaser footage that I've seen so far, it's mind blowing, and your kitty cat is adorable.
So I absolutely understand the anger you're talking about. I get that all the time with something. I remember sitting on my bed with my laptop when the LHC went live, and they showed physicists at a bunch of different labs all over the world, all in their pajamas, celebrating and opening champagne. And I was sitting on my bed thinking, I am watching something that's going to one day change the face of science. And then I noticed the next day, none of it was on the news. And I was like, this is so unbelievably disappointing and disheartening that nobody cares that this is happening. And it is so enormous.
And I have a question. So you've been working on this film for roughly 7 years already.
Yes.
And in that 7 years, like I've noticed, especially, I always say this to you, especially in the last year, I feel like we've seen guys like Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye. They're kind of becoming
Michio Kaku
rock stars in a way, and it fills me with joy to see that, because like when Bill Nye had the debate with the creationist guy,
John Hamm,
Ken Ham, and when I looked at Facebook the next day and I saw so many people posting support for Bill Nye. And now I see, the Cosmos is now out again
and
with Neil. Remake, which is... there seems to be like this perfect storm happening where people are coming together. And then I saw your film, the trailer for your film, and there's this perfect storm that seems to be happening where science is being pushed again and people seem to be thirsting for it more again. Do you see that? Have you seen a shift in that at all during your experience of producing this film in the last 7 years? Have you seen a shift happen?
Without a doubt. I mean, and I think that's actually, there's a lot of downside to the internet, but there's no question that that's the upside because it's allowed things to be shared. And also, finally, NASA itself is finally getting a little bit of a clue that, like, oh, the world has changed. And you look at the way that they put out Curiosity versus how they put out Cassini.
Yeah.
They really learn. One of the big battles was, this was something I didn't know, is it was a huge deal that Cassini made its images available to the public directly before the scientists got a hold of it. And there were internal battles, and people were like, well, we can't let these, unwashed hands, and plus, what if an amateur discovers something before a scientist does? There's all this kind of stuff. And a couple of times they tried to shut it down.
Wow.
Versus, where we are today, where, it's just the expectation that this stuff is going to be shared. So there has been, I do think the tide is turning, and there is this kind of groundswell, and I attribute it to the fact that because I was a nerd teased in school, but the internet has allowed people who are comfortable with technology, means of self-expression, means of connecting. And it's also demonstrated to other people that, when I was in high school, knowing anything about a computer made you an idiot.
Right.
But now it's like, oh, you get a good job, you blah, blah, blah. It's something that it's valued by society. And I think there's a trickle-down effect about that. that has started to make stuff like this a little more popular than it was, which is a good thing.
How many people do you think you have working with you on this project at this point? I mean, are you like in the 50, 100, 200? You know, where are you at with as far as like, you know, where all this
the online
content's
support.
coming from? Yeah, where's it coming? Like, how many people is it coming from? You think?
There's a, you know, because everybody's a volunteer, so everybody has a day job. So
yeah,
there's a core group. I mean, there's myself. Unfortunately, in the last couple of years, I've been able to work on this, you know, pretty much around the clock all the time because of a whole other side tangent is in the process of doing this, I figured out how to make something called digital cinema packages. And I make these digital cinema packages for other starving filmmakers. And that's allowed me to basically have the time to work on this full time. So there's me working on it all the time. And then there's about a core group of 10 people who work 10 to 15, 20 hours a week on the film. And then there's about another 20, 25 people who, you know, kind of work on stuff. Some, you know, just a few hours a week. Sometimes they can do a little bit more, sometimes not. And then there's about a group of I think it's about 35 that are independent image processors that donate their images.
So you got about 100 people, 7,500 people.
Yeah, they're not working directly. Exactly, they're not working directly on the film, but they've contributed, you know, images that they've worked on over the past.
They've all touched on it. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, so there's tens of thousands of hours from other people, and it's really a collective effort.
Wow. That's great.
I think that's gotten really messed up with how people think about the world is we don't see the stars when we walk outdoors anymore, which is really a big shame. I believe if you wanted to do one thing to change the world for the better, there would be no light pollution, and when you walked outside, you would see the stars.
Absolutely, yeah. I am absolutely for, there's places that try and push for there to be areas and communities where just for observing the sky where there's no light allowed, and I wish that there was more push for that in places.
There's this really it's weird, there's a really sweet documentary on Netflix that I'm trying to remember. I think it's like Lights Out or something like that, and it was exactly that. It was all of the light pollution and whatnot. There's this one town in the middle of Arizona called Sky City, and like they have a light ordinance as opposed to like a noise ordinance. So like you can only have certain wattage light bulbs after certain hours, and there's no street lights or anything like that. And the sky view is absolutely incredible.
More of that.
But actually, back to your point about, you know, I'll tell you two cool things about the film. One is that a lot of people who say, well, space makes me feel small, I often find are people who don't actually look at it.
Yeah.
When you actually are working, like that's the thing that's what sustains me through all the kind of crap that you have to go through to try to pull together a film like this, and especially when you get to have the good problems that you get into distribution in theaters and, you know, paperwork and rights and all this kind of stuff. But the actual working with the images, when I spend day in and day out looking at whether it's Cassini or Hubble, I mean, it is such a powerful, spiritual, awesome thing to do that if I were just doing this for my own entertainment, and there's a guy that, a volunteer, that image processor that is in Australia, and this guy named Adam Keel, and he works as a satellite image processor by day for the Australian government, and he was processing LRO, which is the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. He was processing those images, and he told me, he's like, in fact, he started working on the film and then fell off for a while and then came back. He says, I've just got to come back. So I can't get home and watch the news and, you know, deal with all this bullshit at my job and all this kind of thing. He says, when I work on these images, I feel at peace.
I agree.
And
I understand
that's what people don't get. It's like we've lost that connection. You know, it's like, you know, we take a little vacation, you know, whatever, fishing, whatever. We go out in the wilderness. It was like, I can take a breath. But think if that was like most of what we did every day was take that breath. We would not be the miserable bastards that we are right now.
Oh, right. Amen to that.
Yeah. Question that's off. I just wanted to ask it because I was listening to you talk about how much you loved Saturn in an interview that was on your website, and I just wanted to ask personally, because I have my money on Europa for being the place in our general area that has life. I was wondering if you're a Titan guy for that, or an Enceladus guy for that, or a Europa guy for that.
Man, that's a great question. I
Enceladus.
I'm still with Titan.
Yeah, most people do too.
It's the whole water thing.
Europa, Europa is really cool, but one of the, I mean, another thing that really pisses me off is that they have to go, well, should we go to Titan, or should we go to Europa, or should we go to Enceladus?
Yeah.
All wrong answers. We should be going to all of them.
We should.
It's not should we, it's we should.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like, get rid of a couple of those useless ass tank programs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you.
That would easily fund those missions. And the thing is that, and back to your, someone said the word orchestra, and you're talking about inspiration, and this thing is that's the whole reason when I got into this film going into IMAX theaters, a lot of these theaters are like, no, you need charts, you need graphs, you need interviews, you need talking heads, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
bullshit.
No. What you need is what I need, which is I was an astronaut. Why do you want to be an astronaut? I want to fly in space. It's not complicated. Being able to have that experience does really change. And this really awesome thing happened last year is, when I was making this film, it's like, I didn't really think, little kids, like 3 or 4 years old would be interested in this kind of film. But there's this event called Astronomy Days that a museum in Raleigh, North Carolina does, and they've asked us to be a part of that. And I've gone down there, and I've just shown unedited random footage that's not even posted online. It's just kind of work in progress clips, 15, 20 minutes. And it's in a small auditorium. It's not even a giant screen. And they're just all these people who come in that don't really know what the film is. They've never seen a teaser, and they come in, and I talk a little bit, and they're with, they're mostly families. And it ends up being packed every year. And this last year, I'm doing a little Q&A at the end. And all these young kids are asking me, kids from 5 to 10 years old are asking kind of interesting questions. But then this little girl, she might have been 3 or 4 at best, comes walking up all the way to the front of the auditorium. And I'm like, oh my God, she's going to ask to go to the bathroom, when is this going to be? And she looks up at me and says, what is beyond the edge of the universe?
Oh, God, that's an awesome little philosopher right there.
It's like, you could hear a pin drop. I mean, it's by far the best question. I mean, the adult questions were all kind of dorky questions. I told her, I said, I don't know, but I bet you might be the person that answers that question.
Nice.
Wow.
That's great.
That's
wow.
awesome.
Oh, there's a clink to that in there.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. That was, wow.
I'm like, if this is the end of the film and I get hit by a bus today, it's a success.
Call that a win.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is a win.
One other thing that I really wanted you to talk about before you went was if you can give a little information for people that are watching that might want to also join in on volunteering.
Yeah. Plug yourself, please, sir.
Yeah, plug yourself like crazy.
Yeah. We actually have a little bit of a volunteer push here. One of our kind of key volunteers has had kind of some personal problems and fallen out, so we're trying to do some supplemental. But we need people to do all sorts of things, and you don't need any skills whatsoever. One of the urgent needs is we just need people who've got time to waste on the internet, want to download stuff. And it's just downloading pictures. We need people that speak other languages and can do translations. We're getting the teaser rolled out. That's a big part of the film, and the reason we don't have narration and voices in it is we want anybody in any part of the world to have the same experience watching it. So we're wanting to get the teaser out in about 25 different languages. So especially people that might speak Arabic or Mandarin or Javanese or Indian or dialects thereof, we definitely need some translation volunteers. And if you're a little on the geekier side, you've done a little Photoshop, you do a little Java programming, or you're just like to waste time on social media, we need some social media volunteers. All of that would be really helpful right now. And just go to the website, hit us up on Twitter or Facebook, and we'll get you connected.
Can you say all the I know, but can you say all the addresses for where people can find all this stuff, like all the web addresses?
Sure. The easiest way is just insaturnsrings.com.
Okay.
And then we're at InSaturnsRings on Twitter. And then, thankfully, to the good gods at Google, if you just type InSaturnsRings in any search engine, you'll get right there. We're easy to find. That's been one of the blessings of all the viral coverage.
Excellent.
Excellent. Did anybody have anything else they absolutely wanted to ask?
I just want to say thank you so
Yes,
much. I
this
am
has been
so
an honor talking
honored
to
to talk to someone that cares so much about educating the public and getting more people interested in astronomy, because it's just lacking so much, and you have so much dedication. I honestly, when I don't get teary at movie trailers, okay? Like, I'm geeking out hard. It's all right.
She's got her geek on. We're letting her go.
And it was simply because I was like, this is the data that people never get to understand in their daily life. Like, this is the result of that, and that is so amazing. You're doing amazing things. I'm so happy you talked to us.
I promise you that when this video airs on Tuesday, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure it looks amazing and sounds amazing.
And to get
everything
everyone
in our power.
to watch this.
We're going to try our damnedest to do it justice, definitely.
Absolutely. So we're going to...
I mean, it's been a blast talking to you guys. This is by far the most fun interview I've ever done.
Excellent. We'll take that as a win, too.
Listen,
that's cool.
They built a bar, and we have beer mug sponsors, and the show is a 3-hour-long show about people sitting around a bar getting drunk and talking about stuff.
And we all have...
That's my only disappointment is I'm not there and I don't have a beverage in my hand. I've learned my lesson, and I tell you what, bug your local IMAX theater that they got to play this film. And
absolutely.
Got it.
I will, and that's one. Go ahead.
Be in person.
I would love to do that. I will
definitely.
absolutely do that.
But I personally cannot wait to see this on the big screen. Like, just seeing it on her iMac, just a MAC, not a MAX. But just seeing it on that nice little HD screen, the trailer is incredible. I cannot wait until I see it like bigger than a two-family house. I cannot wait. I'm so thrilled.
I can't wait either. And we want to donate to it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome talk.
And we also are encouraging anybody out there that's watching the interview, that's watching our show. If you have just a sliver of love for science, and most of you probably have bigger than that, go fucking donate.
Or you better.
Yeah.
If not, you're gonna love science starting now.
So here's where we start.
Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much for doing this.
It's just a must.
We're back.
He died for our
Welcome,
sakes.
everybody. Welcome back to Awesome Talk Season 11, Episode 3 on April 16, 2019. We have come back. Now, our panel has shrunk just a little bit, but no matter, we are still fucking dope. I don't know why I'm talking like that, but whatever. So, anyway, hi, Sarah. Welcome back.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
It's like I never left.
We're here.
We should choreograph something next time. Maybe
both things are very similar.
A dab or
We are the children.
that's good. You sound good. So welcome back to the show. So we're gonna do a quick around the bar, and then I have a topic I want to jump right into. I know the chat had a bunch of shit to say, and I'm gonna get may or may not get to it, but just follow me here, okay? Hey Rose, what's up, man? Hold on a second. Let me see. There's new people in the chat. Oh my god, man. Justin is in the chat. What's up, fucking nerds? Fuck you, dude. Rose in the chat. Damien is in the chat. What's up, dude? Who else? Claire, what's up, Claire? How's it going? Anna is in the chat. Christine's in the chat. What's up, John? You're still here. Good, man. Good. Okay, so we'll do a quick around the bar. Yeah, good to see you again. Yeah, hit the like or share, whatever the fuck. Matt Hill doesn't like when I say that.
So don't say smash the like button, all right?
That's what he didn't like. You've removed that from your vocabulary.
I took that out, Stones.
So you don't have to keep
I took that out.
that
I don't know how to keep up. I don't know how to keep up with what's
I'm trying
cool.
to help you out. And I was like, I think you're better than that. You know?
Who do you think you protected me from when you said that, though?
Yourself.
Just from everyone that watches. It's like, oh, he said smash the like button. Fuck this channel.
Okay, all right. Now
Those
I get it.
people.
Now I get it.
Think of how many times he's done that.
Who?
Are there those
Yeah.
people?
Matt Hill.
That Matt Hill said,
Yeah,
fuck
like
people
he
who
was
said
like
that?
he was like, oh, the second that
Yeah.
That anyone
tagline
says
comes
that.
out,
Yeah.
That's it.
done.
That's
Cut
it.
out of
That's
his life.
his line.
Yeah, line in the sand.
I know, man.
I'm your host.
Bitch.
I'm your host, Rick.
I'm Rob.
I'm Matt. What's up?
Pat?
I am also Rob.
Stones.
Sarah.
I'm also Matt.
What's up, man? So here's what I want to talk about. So we were talking about on the break. We were talking a little about Star Wars, and I was saying that Anakin Skywalker is my favorite character. Now, one of the reasons that here's why. Anakin is not my favorite character because of the movies. Anakin is my favorite character because of the Clone Wars. Anakin Skywalker's character is much deeper.
He had to be because he was completely unlikable.
Right. And there's something about him, there's something about Anakin Skywalker where when he turns around, he's got those red eyes and he's pissed off and just murderous for the last fucking time. There's something about that I connect with and that I appreciate. I appreciate somebody who has been trying to get something done, but they've been fucked over in so many different directions that they finally snap and say fuck everybody. And then I don't know if they should go so far as to kill kids, but you know what I'm saying. But
No, but it's an aspiration.
Yeah, right.
Aspirations.
So for the same reason that I like Anakin Skywalker, I wanted to bring up the new Joker film, and I wanted to bring up the trailer because you had said something. We had conversed on Facebook a little bit about the new Joker trailer, and there was so much I wanted to say, but I wanted to save it for the show so we could talk about it here. Because you said you were on the fence about it.
I am too.
Okay, so I want to tell you guys why I love what they're doing. This is important. So you're into it. You and I
I'm
watched
in.
it, right?
I'm all in.
Okay,
There's
here's why I
so
like
many
it.
comic books that close those chapters together that, like, you know.
I've gotten to the point where I no longer give a shit what the original story is when it comes to Joker specifically, and here's why.
But
somebody
the
made a
original
meme.
story, like the Killing Joke, wasn't that far off from what's being portrayed in the trailer.
Agreed.
Like
Agreed.
down
But
on his
hold on.
luck, dude. That fucking gets like
Right.
just
I understand that, but here's the thing. Somebody put out a meme, and it was Jack Nicholson's Joker, and it was Joaquin Phoenix, right? And in Jack Nicholson's Joker, they said 1990s Joker, drop him in a vat of nuclear waste, right? And then it said 2019 Joker, drop him into society. So there's something about that where I look at Joker and I say to myself, anything that examines the human condition's decline into becoming who he is, I'm interested in seeing. So whatever your
is it
interpretation,
becoming who he is or who he was pushed to become?
whatever makes a person become that, I'm interested in seeing how that happens. When good people do fucked up things, I'm locked right in. So the idea that the Joker is a sweet man taking care of his sick mother, and the world is punching the literal fuck out of him everywhere he goes, to the point where he finally just breaks and goes, fuck all of you. Like, I am just so interested in that human study that's why that movie appeals to me in the way that it does, because they also do one other thing I want to mention. They also do something interesting in that movie with the Joker that I've never seen before in this way. There's that moment in the trailer where he's writing in his journal, and he's writing jokes, because he's a comedian or whatever, right? But the last thing he writes is the worst thing about having a mental illness is that people expect you to behave as if you don't. And the idea that this is just a sweet man taking care of his mother, who's addressing what's happening to him, to himself out loud, that he has a mental illness, and society is kind of pushing him in to what he becomes. I just find that to be interesting. So no matter what your interpretation of that is, I'm like so on board with it because we're living in an age right now where people snap constantly in these huge violent ways. So I'm interested, and I think it's good for the people to see that, how that happens to people, because I think it helps people sympathize a little bit. In other words, Joker has become so much more than just than a villain in a Batman movie. It really is like a character study of mental illness to me. So that's why I was into it, and I wanted
Interesting
to.
perspective.
I mean, don't you find it funny that it's Joaquin Phoenix who went through a complete
Or perfect.
right? You
What do
know
you
what I
mean?
mean? Like, because Joaquin Phoenix went from being one of the most fundamental actors of his time, and then had a meltdown.
That meltdown was
that
fake.
meltdown is but it doesn't matter. Like his character of playing that.
Yeah.
He was trying to make a movie. What I think with that is he was trying the rapper movie.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
He was
Right.
trying
yeah.
to make a movie. He made it. He knew what he was doing. It was all for that movie. Did it work? Maybe you're right. It didn't work to the level that he
Look
wanted
at the
it to.
attention it got.
It got
as
attention.
him having
Yeah.
oh my god, that's a meltdown. Like TMZ
Okay.
followed it, the Inquirer followed. Like every major fucking celebrity news channel was like, Joaquin
Right.
Phoenix lost his
Yeah,
goddamn shit. And if you're our age, you know who River Phoenix is, and you know that there's, like you're generating a name who's out there. He, whether he fakely did it, if it was a conspiracy or whatever the fuck, or he actually had it happen.
Wait, can I say something? Is the point basically that
He's a Joker.
Anybody who can, he can legitimately embody a
No,
character.
I agree with what
in
you-
the same way I would argue Heath Ledger did in Dark Knight.
Right.
He's
I look at the
notorious
character
for
and-
interviews of being a Joker.
Right.
Even before that.
Right.
Even before the
And
rapper.
he's out of his fucking
Always.
mind. So
Yeah.
as a casting part, it's great.
Oh, he's
From
perfect for the
perspective
role.
that you
That's not my
view
problem with
right?
it.
I have a problem with it from the comic book viewpoint of
Okay, yeah, of course, yeah, right.
And them taking an artistic rendition of this over dramatic character with they're playing it into sociology, like it's society. It's I love it that you love it like that.
Right.
But from a comic book fan standpoint, it's like that's fucking cool.
But
that's not him.
Right.
The
Comics
motherfucker's a
always
homicidal
reflect what's
maniac.
going on
It's
at
not
the
like,
time
oh my god, I
when
lost
they're
my
written.
shit.
I think the point he's making is you can
Hold
make
on.
this same movie, but it doesn't have to be called Joker.
Right.
It doesn't have to be that character. It could be anybody that falls into that trap.
Right.
But by making it that character, but not including the rest of the universe
You
and
let
the
down the
circumstances
DC fans.
around
Yep.
him,
Right.
Yeah.
it makes it. It's like Venom didn't have Spider-Man in it. Venom
yeah.
came from Spider-Man. Joker,
Right.
regardless of what people want to say about the Killing Joke not being an official origin story, DC has admitted it's the closest they're going to get. They've
Right.
referenced it as his origin story multiple times over the past 20 years. So
He
to
just
take
set
the
my
Batman
argument,
part
just
of
so
it
you-
out.
Okay, no, sure.
He just goes.
But I want you guys to know
But
that.
to take that, and the second
Well,
thing I'll say is,
I heard
But
the
let me
kids-
my
finish.
I heard
guess,
the
hold on,
kids-
let me finish.
my
Batman.
guess is they
So
did it
Batman
better in
does
the
make an
original
appearance.
version of this film, which is called Falling Down and came out in the 90s.
Sure.
That's
No,
what
oh my
I
god, I
was
was going to
just
mention
gonna
that.
say.
I was going to mention that. Hold on. What were you going to say?
I was just saying, comics are like a reflection.
With
to
the fucking
answer him,
bazooka?
Was to say the comics.
He's
are a
Michael
reflection of
Douglas.
Hold on.
He is.
And
Go
what's
ahead.
going on currently? Like,
Great
like
Comic
you,
books
you
are?
mentioned dropping into vats and stuff like that. Remember,
Right.
everything was dropping into a vat of nuclear something or toxic
Yeah.
waste.
Yeah, that's true.
because it was a topical thing at the time.
Right.
And
Yeah,
before
now
that,
everybody's just drinking it.
Right.
So we
yeah,
can't use that anymore.
Yeah.
But
Okay. So the question is, if the comic
over
were
time,
written
it's
now,
going to be changed.
what
Yeah.
would be different?
Well,
Right.
that's what I think. It's just like what you're saying. Like now, it would be more of a society thing doing this to him, and
Sure.
back then, it would be more of like
Right.
a
But
whatever
we're
was topical at
prescribed
the
to
time.
1950s fucking.
I just. Why don't you learn to be open-minded, Rob?
No, I'm saying it's great for the movie is a split. It's a split personality.
Sure.
It's for the intellectual community who's thinking about neurological problems and shit. But from the comical, like
I want him to be a
nostalgic.
psychopath.
I want him this. I want him to be an unbelievable fucking maniac.
Well, what's
Yeah.
canon at that
And the
point?
the crazy
Yeah.
thing is that's what the Heath Ledger character
It was.
gave you.
Yeah.
You
Ooh,
got
yeah.
Jack Nicholson and you got Joaquin Phoenix,
Yeah.
and that's why that
God, he
guy's
did
like,
it well.
no one's topping that. What is that?
People
He's a
argue that,
fucking
though.
But like,
maniac.
what's your canon for Joker?
And it's too
Yeah,
soon
yeah,
after
what is soon?
Suicide
What's canon
Squad,
to
I
you,
think,
like,
to
for
do
Joker?
Oh, easily.
Never thought of that perspective.
Like
Easily.
all of it, or
Yeah.
just the old Joker, like the original one.
like the 1950s fucking Batman.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's a mixture of that. It's a mixture of the comic book. It's a mixture of the cartoon series. And the cartoon series brings in Skywalker, who is the most awesome voice possible. And
Do you consider movies canon at all?
No.
Huh?
I agree, though.
Well, the movies are always they always retell the origin.
That would if I said yes, that would be
because they're
like
based off the comic books, which usually came before them. So they're.
And
just
if you read the
mirroring-
comics
Right,
and
exactly.
you
You can't
apply it
really
the same
be
way we
canon.
apply the Marvel concept to
Sure.
it, it's kind of like that's why DC's always let me down.
Are you guys not interested in Brightburn?
No.
You're not interested in the
Is
idea.
anybody interested in
I-
Hellboy?
Hold on.
My favorite thing that
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
DC did was when they
Hellboy?
said, I give DC credit when they said we're going to end all the universe stories and we're going to go only to singular character development. And I was like, thank
Yes.
God,
Like,
because
think about
that's
it from
where
the
you're
beginning.
fucking
They came
being
into the
awesome.
game so
Do
far,
that.
so far to try to catch up. They should have gone in a different direction and forged their own niche. Absolutely,
Yeah.
they should have done a Killing Joke standalone. They should have done like
Yeah.
a Gotham by Gaslight standalone. They should have done individual tales that nobody else was telling because you couldn't make 5, 6, 7, 8 movies.
So
out
would you say to have 3 different Batmans in each of those movies?
The Killing Joke, but the Killing Joke, well,
Batman
the Killing
even in
Joke
Killing
and
Joker?
animated
I don't know
movie
that story.
they
Well,
made.
have
Don't
like,
you
have
find
like,
it odd
have
that
like
they
an
try to
original
watch a
universe, and then
universe?
everything's like a what if.
Right.
Killing
like
There's
Joker
so many
story.
things going
is their
on.
Batman.
That's all. Just
Like
have
think
it
about
to
the
side.
DC universe right
So
now.
a different Batman actor
Yes.
for each movie.
I wouldn't have a problem with that at all.
That's what I was
because if
getting.
it fits the time, if
But
it
look
fits the
at
story.
how many Jokers are in circulation right now.
They are, and that's what I think it's
Yeah.
too soon.
The
Like
kid from
Suicide
fucking
Squad.
Shameless.
And people only really
That
have a problem
Joker-
with one of them.
I gotta be honest with you, man. I gotta
They
be
have a
honest with you.
problem with the
Dude.
Jared Leto.
Exactly.
Right, because he's like new age
But he
nonsense.
talks like he's Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, yeah,
he's
he
like,
is,
yeah,
yeah.
see, like
Yeah, see.
he kind of talks like that.
1920s pro.
Get over here,
Suicide
Harley
Squad.
Quinn.
I
See
say
it?
19.
The
Like,
look I could have gotten behind.
Yeah, yeah.
easily,
The take on the
easily.
look,
When it came
I-
out,
Yeah,
I
me
was like,
too. Me too.
do it,
Yeah.
dude.
Total modern.
I was like, oh, it's
Jared
Jared
Leto,
fucking.
yeah.
Oh,
His
that's-
Yeah,
talking.
but Jared Leto's good, man. What was the movie Jared Leto was in about the heroin? What was that called?
Oh, now you're talking when he's
Requiem
with
for
the
a
rabbit.
Dream.
When he's with the
Requiem was
rabbit.
good, man.
Requiem for a
One
Dream.
No, that's Donnie Darko.
movie.
Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream. One movie.
What else was Jared Leto in?
Fight Club.
Mr.
Yeah, he
Nobody.
got his ass kicked in Fight
He was
Club.
great in Fight Club.
Yeah, he got his ass kicked perfectly.
Read the chat.
Oh, let me look at the chat room. Hold on a second. Let's see what's going on
Requiem for a Dream,
here.
That was a
He was
movie.
in
I thought
Mr.
that was a
Nobody.
song.
I know nothing
But, dude,
about it,
that's a
but I
song,
know
too.
Jared
But Suicide
Leto.
Squad, I wouldn't even necessarily blame Jared Leto because you
No.
also it's the director
Right,
that
But
slaps
think
the
about
movie
how
together.
many
Okay.
takes on him you have.
Hold on a second. I gotta go to the chat for just a second. I'm on the fence too. I guess they're talking about the Joker movie. Hold on a second. Hi Matt and Rob and Rob. LOL. Okay, let's see. And everyone, hey, what's up, man? Fuck darn kids. But the younglings. I'm on the fence
Oh,
too.
that's
And
what,
Rose says the younglings had to go. Depends on what your perspective is. In a way that might be true. Can't trust DC with their properties so far, and what Keith said is why. DC is fucking terrible with movies. According to
See,
Rose,
that's
Rose
the
said
rep you get
trailer
with
looks
that,
promising,
what they did,
but
but
will
they're
most
not
likely be
terrible.
garbage
That's the-
somehow because of that. Justin, I love the approach and the idea. I fear the execution on DC's. Rose says, but what do I know? It's not like I'm into the Joker or anything. She is, right? She's got like a Joker, like, tattoo or something.
She does.
I'm with you on that, Rick, about the Joker. Thank you, John. Hey, Ray Beats is in the chat, man. Dude, Ray Beats, man, you gotta hit me up, dude, because I want you on this season, but I thought you, like, moved out of the state and then back, and I'm not really sure what's true and what isn't. When Rick checks the chat, I feel like he's looking into my soul. I am, and it sucks. Let's see. He's looking into our eyes.
Jesus Christ.
I don't even know who said that, so I'm just fucking around. I'm still here. Could have been a legit documentary. What a great movie, Falling Down. Dude, you know what's fucked up about the movie Falling Down? Is I watched it recently, and I realized that it made me laugh more now than it ever did in my life. It was like, there was
It made
so
me
much
laugh
comedy in it, dude. Like, when he's in, like, the shop with the racist white dude, and he's fucking with the guy, that's hilarious, dude. And then he just
His
kills
whole
him.
argument with the burger in the store.
So good.
Yeah, it's violent. He's holding people with guns, but I was laughing because he's so right.
There's
The
something
flat
about
bird,
that,
you
man.
know.
That fucking movie was funny, dude.
It's relatable.
It's you know what, and it's more relatable
Transplanes
now.
automobiles. I want a fucking car, and I want it fucking now.
But again, good people who do bad things.
Yes.
It makes for a good story.
Yeah.
So again, to me, and again, with complete respect to what you guys are saying to the comic book, and I totally understand your perspective, but I enjoy a different take on a character. You know, like I just enjoy a different perspective. Like imagine if they came from this instead, what would it be like? And that's why Brightburn kind of interests me. The idea of Superman being a bad kid is a really interesting. Like imagine a kid with infinite strength.
Isn't there a difference between interpretation and alternate reality or
right?
vision?
Sure.
Just kind of like
I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like the Joker that Joaquin Phoenix is playing is understandable. If you made him a good kid, and then one day he like came across crazy shit, it would be really weird. It's like revisionist, like to take the Superman and go, well, this kid was bad, and then he became the greatest person who ever lived. It's kind of like,
but he doesn't even seem bad. He seems.
Well, if he just became a straight
yeah,
villain.
weird.
Superman is also overly wholesome.
Right.
And the type of character
he's
he is. So to make him
nauseatingly wholesome.
Thank you. So to make him bad, like it doesn't work.
Christopher
It actually does. Have you read Red Sun?
No.
Red Sun is the Superman story, but he lands in Russia as opposed to landing in the United States. And it's basically the whole Superman story.
Oh, weird.
It starts in like the 50s, 60s,
so
but
it's
then
meant to
comes
make
up to
him an
current.
enemy of the United States.
Exactly.
Which
He's
is
Superman,
not only
but
turning
he's Russia's Superman.
Right, so
as
nobody
opposed to-
Wow,
that's
weird.
defending the world, but defending
So you would agree that's an interesting take on that
Absolutely.
character.
And I will go so far as to be, I will say that I am shallow enough that if there is even a reference to Wayne or Wayne Industries in this Joker movie, I will probably feel more comfortable with the movie.
The little kid,
Even
the
if we never
little
see
kid in the
Bruce
trailer,
Wayne.
dude. The kid in the
Is it
trailer
Bruce
is supposed
Wayne
to
or
be
is
Bruce
people
Wayne.
just thinking it's Bruce Wayne?
Well,
Yeah.
if you read like
A lot
the
of people are
IMDb
thinking it's Bruce
pages,
Wayne.
And
there
not
is
only
a-
that-
there is a young kid playing
Yeah.
young Bruce Wayne.
And when
so
he's-
maybe it's
Well, then
not
maybe-
the one in the
so
trailer. Maybe
when
it
that
is.
comes to pass, then maybe that'll make me more comfortable.
When
that
he's
they're not
watching TV in
alienating
the
everything
trailer,
else.
and that guy is saying, "What kind of coward wears a mask?" That's supposed to be Bruce Wayne's dad from Wayne Industries, I think.
Okay,
Granted,
and if that's true,
we're all
I'll
making
feel
a
more
judgment
comfortable
off of
about
a
it.
2-minute or 3-minute video.
But isn't that amazing how trailers have changed
Yeah.
over the years?
That's what they made over episode 9,
Dude,
which just
yeah.
came out 2 days ago.
And nobody said anything in it.
Right.
Except Luke's voiceover.
Luke's voiceover,
Nobody in the trailer said anything, dude.
Only thing I picked up other than her being a fucking badass.
Word up.
Anybody who stands there with a lightsaber and is like,
Oh,
I'll
a
just take that
TIE
shit
fighter.
on.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm just gonna backflip real quick.
Unless
Slice this shit in half
unless
with
she
light.
was in that desert with Kylo Ren training together.
Ooh.
My boy showed me the trailer and I was like, tell
see
me
it.
Obi-Wan shows up out of nowhere.
No,
He's-
Palpatine does.
Dude, he's
Palpatine
going to.
did.
No.
And
But
he
the
might.
voice, that's the voice, right?
Yeah.
Is it Palpatine?
It's Palpatine.
Or
It's Palpatine.
No, it's
Or-
Palpatine.
No, it's Palpatine.
Because at Star Wars Celebration in
Palpatine.
Chicago,
Right, the actor
actor
walked
actor-
plays the
Yeah.
Emperor Ian
Right.
McDermott.
Yeah,
so
he came
the
out
lights
and
went
came
down.
out.
The trailer shows
And then he comes out at the
one
end.
spotlight comes on the stage,
And
and
it's-
it's Ian
it-
McDermott, and he's doing the Emperor voice, and he goes, "Roll it again."
Yeah, and then he played the fucking trailer again, dude.
So
It's him.
yeah, the actor
It's
for the Emperor
Palpatine.
was
Yeah.
there.
So we're gonna
He's
see a
never-
Force
old
Ghost
is
fight.
he?
It's gonna be a Force
But it's not
Ghost.
going to be a Force Ghost fight because Sith can't be Force Ghosts. Sorry,
no
Star
idea
Wars
what
nerd.
you're
Is that true? sorry.
Technically, the
Sorry.
Sith were
He
never able
just,
to.
she's giving you a look now.
And I guess it depends on the canon you're rolling with. Here.
From what I understand,
Speaking of
the
origin
Sith will
stories.
never completely come back from the dead as a Force Ghost. Because once you embrace the dark side, it's kind of like giving up part of your soul, so you never have 100% to come back as a Force Ghost. But there have been references where they have attached themselves to physical entities
That makes sense.
to kind of continue stuff
That
along.
makes sense. I think
Again,
he's
no
right.
offense to anyone who says anything about Star
I'm
Wars.
completely willing to be
I
proven
look to
batshit
her
wrong, but that's
because
what
I
that's
know
what
she knows
know.
everything and has read over
That's a-
150 books.
That's a
So
good assessment.
It's
That's
like
a serious fucking.
What do you think about it?
What do you think?
About the movie?
No, what do you think about what
Force
he said
Ghosts.
about
Yeah.
Force Ghosts and Sith?
Well, it's not an opinion. It's just that there have been even in, dude, actually, you know what? We could actually say that it is canon now, because at the end of the Clone Wars, when they released that last, like, lost episodes, and Yoda went through that whole fucking bullshit, at the end, there were Force ghosts of, like, 5 different Sith. And unless that, okay. Like, now, I only watched that last season, like, once, so I'm trying to remember if that entire story arc was, like, something that Yoda was sort of
bullshitting,
like experiencing that was like within himself, or was that like legit what the hell was actually happening to him? So I guess I can't say conclusively that it's canon that Sith can be Force ghosts, but
somebody that I know thinks that Snoke is Palpatine.
Oh God!
I don't think that's right.
Can Force ghosts die?
Force
man.
ghost? Well,
the only one
see, when you guys ask me Star Wars questions, like, there's always 2 answers, because
I love the original, and that's it. Just give me the original guy who's angry and old and wrinkled and fucking...
Yeah, but that's, I mean, he's going to be way more wrinkly now.
But he wasn't always a fucking... Dude, like, you want to talk about stupid origin...
we get Skeletor Palpatine.
The Emperor's origin story is exactly what you would imagine if you really stopped to think about it. He was a whiny, rich kid. He was a spoiled shitbag, rich, whiny fucking shit. That's it. He was he was affluenza. That's what the Emperor was before the Emperor was the Emperor.
Yeah.
All right.
And he won in the end. He won. What does that tell you, dude? And he's still winning because he's fucking alive, dude. Like 70 years later, he was like 100 already.
No. I wouldn't go so far as to say that he's alive in this movie.
So what the hell is going on then?
I think that, well, it's clear that they're going on some fucking
Is he an
quest.
animatronic puppet?
Well, that's everything.
Who's above Palpatine?
Who's above Palpatine?
Everything's a quest.
In what way? You mean like who was above the Emperor?
Who's like pulling the strings on everything on that side?
Palpatine pulls his own strings.
Palpatine pulled the strings on both sides.
He was God.
Palpatine created the war and then created the end of the war. He masterminded the army. He masterminded both sides. He masterminded everything.
So you see the Death Star in the trailer, right? It's demolished. It's
Yep.
on the ground. The question is, when is the movie? You'd like to think that it's...
And which Death Star is it?
Right.
Oh.
Because that could be
another Death Star, yeah.
if it's the second one, or it could be Yavin if it was the first one.
See, I'm different with the movies because I don't follow the movies. I know the story plot. I read all the bullshit, and I watch the movies when I watch them. I'm not a fan when it comes to anything past the gospel. You know, so like when it goes forward, it's like, all right, I get it, but you start looking at it, you start analyzing it, you're like, that's not what you think is the Death Star. Like, that's the only thing I picked up on the trailer. I watched the trailer, I was like, all right, this is cool.
Wow.
And everybody I know was like, did you see what she did? Like, she did the back. And I was like, fuck the first 30 seconds.
Right.
Is that the Death Star?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way it looked, it was like, all right, so now let's really get into some geek shit.
Yeah.
Is that really the Death Star? Or are we looking at some bullshit here? Like, that's the way I look at all this stuff. It's kind of like the Endgame trailer. It's like, is this Iron Man at the end of the movie? Or is this the Iron Man that hasn't been found yet?
It's actually funny that you bring that up, because Marvel is now very well known for editing and painting out and changing their trailers, not to give stuff away.
Right.
Now Star Wars is owned by Disney / Marvel.
So you're looking at that,
I'm not
like,
ever
is that
sure
the
that
intro
somebody
to the
didn't
film,
actually
or
say.
is there some other?
Is there something that maybe they changed in the Star Wars trailer?
Only thing I picked up on, man, I just can't follow it.
I never even thought of
all
that.
right, so
Good
here's the Death
stuff.
Star.
Yeah,
I'm like, is that
what
the
I
Death
see
Star?
is what I see,
asked
yeah.
my roommate, I'm like, is that the Death Star? And he was like, oh yeah. And I'm like, and I didn't
Yeah,
say
it's
a
not
word.
then, yeah.
I just sat back and was like, something ain't right. And that's not going to happen. Same thing with the fucking Avengers. I was like, what's going? And I've conversed with people like,
dude,
that scene with Iron Man is like, you look at it and you go, I don't think that's the end of it.
Dude, this is why I said the other day that
there's so many things.
As long
that
as
they can
Doctor
paint.
Strange is there, it's
film
fine.
has become,
he knows the one time that it worked out.
Film and TV have become, or becoming, more like literature. It's deep, It's fucking. You can question everything. It examines the gray area of human, the human experience. You have all these fucking questions. Nothing is what it seems. The good guys are the bad guys. The bad guys are the good guys. It's just so fucking rich now. You know what I mean? I fucking love that. I want to take a look at the chat.
There's no doubt in my mind that this Star Wars movie is going to have Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor. There's no doubt. Like, everyone's all like, oh, yeah, Palpatine. And they just totally were like, we gave away Palpatine now because you guys aren't even prepared for the fact that Ewan McGregor's going to fucking be here. And like, absolutely Hayden Christensen.
Young Obi-Wan Kenobi.
More than anyone else, it makes the most sense that Hayden Christensen will be in it. Because Kylo is obsessed with him, and there's no one better than Anakin to be like, dude, I like really fucked up. Like, you're not paying attention to the full story. Like, there's so much more than just the small cool part.
The idea that Anakin shows up and makes Kylo Ren a good guy is such a fucking weird thing, dude.
That intro, I still think Kylo was headed down that path to begin with.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I don't think what will happen would be that he turns Kylo good. I think what would happen is Kylo Ren, there's all these moments where, like, he's being tested. Like, do I blow this up even though my mom's on it? Do I or do I not stab my father? And, like, he's being tested over and over again. And, like, even when he goes through with, like, killing Han, you could see that he still failed. Like, he felt something, and the point was not to overcome the feeling, it was to not have the feeling.
Yeah.
And the real test is going to be when Anakin tries to tell him, like, dude, don't be like me. And Kylo's going to say, then you're a failure too, and I can be better than you too.
Wow.
That'll be the test, That'll be the real fucking thing. I mean, there's nothing left, like...
So you don't think this is going to be a redemption arc for Kylo? The way it was for Vader, the way it was... or attempted to be for Anakin?
I feel like that would be an interesting story for sure, but I feel like so many people expect it that always seems to make it least likely to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're gonna put it that way, mostly because everyone's like, oh my god, Rey and Kylo, like, I feel like they're gonna end up having to not
be a joyless cash grab.
Yeah.
Maybe. I want that. I think that would be actually a more interesting story if he can redeem himself before he dies.
Yeah.
I just look at the Star Wars universe as a whole as very cyclical.
It is cyclical, and that's why he'll be redeemed.
And you know what? And it mimics life. Life is cyclical. We just fucking said in the 1700s, people are sitting around having the same conversation, and here the fuck we are, over and over and over.
Maybe the truth of the matter is this entire story.
Right, but there are certain beats in that original trilogy that they hit in every other one.
Yeah.
Loses his hand in the second
How
movie
easy
of the
is it
trilogy.
to just go, oh, this guy reminds me of that guy.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that guy. It may not be the same storyline, but at least you have the character plot where you're like...
It is pretty realistic.
It's literature, but all literary novels and everything are talking about life.
Sure.
Yeah, you talk about a character study with the Joker of mental illness. I mean, everybody's just a character study of mental illness.
Yeah, well, especially if you're in America.
Right, there's no spectrum. We're all there.
Yeah, we're all there.
Like, people need to realize that there's no autism. You're just different. Like, you have autism, you have autism, you have autism. It's not autism. It's just you're different.
Yeah.
Like.
Drank too much plastic.
And Stones is very different. Stones is very, very different. So, I'm going to go to the chat.
Yeah, well, I'll give you that. And then there's the Joker.
But speaking of the Joker, did you hear that there's an actor from Game of Thrones is going to be the next Batman, I believe?
Yeah, I heard that, yeah. People seem to be happy with it.
I like it. In Game of Thrones, the character...
I don't watch Game of Thrones, so I don't know.
He's a likable
And I'm sorry,
character.
I don't need to make a meme about it like they're doing about people like me. But
I think his name is Jorah. I don't know if I'm saying his name, like the one who had the scales all over him.
That's going to be the new Batman?
Mm-hmm.
He's a little older for Batman.
But I mean, when you come out of Ben Affleck, it's kind of like... You
can pick anybody.
You know what sucks? Though? I like Ben Affleck.
You're out of your fucking mind.
Dude, he was so
You like Ben Affleck in 2 movies out of his entire career.
What are the 2 movies?
Good Will Hunting.
I never saw it. What's the other movie?
I don't
understand that.
What's the other one?
The only movie he did that was based on reality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which was?
A character study in mental illness.
Chasing Amy? Is that what you like?
No.
Oh, you out of your mind.
No.
I was asking
That's the
him.
worst acting.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
That's 2 minutes.
It was the best
Doesn't
2
matter.
minutes.
That's
We're
a
done with this
cameo.
It was the
conversation.
best 2 minutes.
Best 2 minutes of his entire career.
Look at these gross motherfuckers. It looks like somebody shit
Except
their
they didn't watch
cereal.
Goodwill
Bang.
not acting.
Yeah.
That's
Goodwill
Ben
Hunting
Affleck.
was-
That's all I need.
Ben Affleck.
If you need more,
Not
that's
acting.
your problem.
Sometimes you do
Not
the movie
acting.
for the money, and then other times you do the
Dude,
movie as a
honest-
favorite friend.
Yeah.
Ben
Right.
Affleck is great
Right.
when Ben Affleck's acting like he's hanging out with everyone in Boston. That's
Ben
that,
Affleck
like-
was great when Cartman drew the face on his hand and pretended it was Ben Affleck. He was
He
really
may be a
great.
good director.
What about
Yeah.
what, Dazed and Confused or whatever?
No.
Was
Not
he
even
in
that.
Dazed and Confused?
Yeah, he was the
In
big
what?
bully.
He's the
butt
bully.
slapper.
Oh yeah, he was
The
good. in
paddle
that.
thing?
He was good in that.
Flatliners?
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
He was in
Terrible.
Flatline.
He wasn't
Flatliners.
Flatliners.
Wow.
He was in Flatliners.
Jersey Girl.
The
Or
movie?
not Jersey Girl. What's the
Mallrats.
Chasing
He was-
Amy.
Mallrats was good.
No,
Chasing
no, the
Amy.
movie where he's with,
Mallrats.
Mallrats,
him
I
and
thought he had a good
Jennifer
performance.
Lopez.
That's what
really?
put him on the map.
Oh, that's
That's
the
what
one
made
I wanna watch.
that's what made Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Was the Mallrats appearance.
The
And-
Mallrats
yeah,
appearance
like
was
that-
good,
and
yeah.
that was good. That
Yeah.
was
And then Chasing Amy
you know,
did it for him.
He's
Like,
good at
Yeah.
playing a douchebag.
right. He's good at telling people
Folks,
to fuck him in the ass.
Did you think when you woke up this morning that sentence was going to come out of your mouth?
Dude, I think they said that
Finger
the
cuffs.
next Star Wars
Chinese
movie.
finger cuffs.
What?
I think the next Star Wars movie is supposed to be 4 hours.
Yeah, that's what I just said before.
That's what they're
Ben
Yeah.
Affleck
Good.
is
It should
Boba
be.
Fett.
Are you joking me? Let's not even. Let's not even. All right.
Ben Affleck's
I
in the
mean,
band.
Jesus.
Hold on. I need to look at the chat, then we got to cut to our break.
We're only gonna have like 3 showings a day.
Fuck your Brightburn. All right, whatever. You can just go ahead and just say that if you want to just say whatever you want. Movies are their
We're gonna agree to
own
disagree.
beast.
There you go.
I don't
Think
judge
fast.
them on how far into the graphic novels they dive into.
Who's
You know,
talking?
why does Rick look so
We know.
sexy tonight? According to Ray
We
Ray
all felt
Beats.
it.
Hey, you know.
Angry about Ben Affleck.
Let's see.
Like
Fuck
that-
Jared Leto. Fuck Jared Leto.
I like Daredevil.
It's like that South Park episode.
The way
Butters is angry.
His meth dealer.
The whole time.
Deadpool, like
Joking bullshit. Let's see. Overrated. Lord of War. I can't read that. Will Smith too. Oh, fuck Will Smith too. Fuck Will Smith.
Agreed.
Okay.
Sorry.
Part of the problem is there have been some seriously iconic portrayals of the character. I like the idea of DC treating stories more like Marvel, What If, instead of trying to build a universe. Fuck it. Trust your storylines and make movies about the stories instead of creating a universe like Marvel. As long as they are trying to copycat Marvel's model, it's going to fail. Pick a story, The Killing Joke, Death of Robin, Nightfall, and just run with it. Don't worry about building up to them. I like the idea of DC just letting someone write a good fucking script and not mess with it. Just don't change too much, says Keith. See the X-Men movies. Too much interpretation instead of... Yeah, but they were also fucking poorly fucking executed, like particularly poorly.
The worst movies I've
ever seen. X-Men movies
Oh,
are
yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
Bruce Wayne's dad is all over the Yeah, that's what I thought.
The
They could do
Wolverine
different
one where,
actors.
you know, he
No,
died.
it was terrible. It was a piece of shit. I couldn't even finish it.
Awesome.
Yes.
If you
What
carry
does
Wolverine
everyone
as a
think
rated
about
R
the new
character.
Terminator movie? Okay, look, we're gonna cut to a second break. When we come back, can we just talk a little bit more?
We're gonna talk a lot about Terminator.
We're gonna talk about
Yes.
Terminator. We're gonna
Yes.
talk about Terminator
And
once this season.
RoboCop.
And
Everybody
yes,
in there?
Peter
We do that?
Weller. We're gonna bring Peter Weller on, and he's
And
gonna
throw
defend
and being
RoboCop.
dipped
Fuck,
in
let's
vats
do
of
it. Fuck
shit.
it.
Oh,
Let's
can
go to
we?
the second break, and we're gonna come
Can
back.
we get some original RoboCop actors on the show?
Yeah, I would
don't
love
see
to.
Why
I'd
not?
love to.
You're listening to us. And the face.
I want to put a new story out there. Buzz might have left his poop on the moon. Buzz Aldrin.
So?
That's what I say. Who gives a shit? Right,
He
butt
did.
children,
He
right?
gave a shit.
He left the shit is what he did.
Yeah, he left. Yeah.
He gave a shit to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But let me just tell you something. There's something about an article like
Well,
this
yeah, I
that
was about to
bothers
say,
me.
yeah, I got a questions too. Go ahead.
There are so many important things that come from going to the moon.
Yeah.
That this article had to point out. Hey, there might be a shit up there.
Okay.
Now I wonder how the shit holds up in space. I wonder if it freezes. Is it more preserved? Is there sort of a crushing sort of feeling? Sarah, you're
There's
in.
no crushing.
There's no shit crushing going on
There's
in the
no
moon.
reason why there would be.
I don't
Well, I don't think he just like let it. It's not like
roll
floating
down
around.
his leg or something or whatever.
Yeah,
Kick it out of
exactly. Like
shape.
it's not bouncing around up
I
there.
would love to take my pants up
You
on the
see
moon.
like this fucking flag and then floating right by.
Yeah, there's just a turd floating by.
No, so let's think about this. I mean,
Sure, let's do it.
Going to the conspiracy of the whole thing.
Sure.
I mean, people always talking about the moon landing is fake and all kind of
Was
shit.
it?
Yeah, but did you see that shit flying around? Who put that there?
But that's the thing, though. So,
Right,
like,
it's a
okay,
space
you
shit.
you mean to tell me that he got this vacuum sealed suit on to preserve his fucking life force and shit,
Sure,
keep all
sure.
the air in his body,
Right.
contained in this goddamn suit,
Right.
And he was somehow able
right.
to unzip his ass flap and drop a turd on the motherfucking moon.
Well, maybe his butthole was sort of vacuum sealed, so it was just asshole first. But I got to tell you, I would laugh my balls off if I were on the moon and I had the opportunity to drop the ass flap down and just take a dump and just watch it float around, float around the moon.
It is like
I don't think it's just a free range piece of shit.
You think he had like diarrhea? So it's just like
No.
brown liquid.
No, I don't think he was exposed at all.
I'd have shit in a bag and let it out then, man, just for the fuck of it. Just to say my turd is going to float around here long after I'm
That
dead.
really stupid idea would have cost like $100,000.
Oh, so you think it's premeditated? He was inside the ship.
He
and
had that with him before he took
Yeah.
off from Earth.
Exactly. So like he pooped in a bag.
Right.
You know, zero gravity in space. I wonder how that would work. Because like, all right, you have gravity here on Earth to pull the shit out your ass when you're
Sure.
sitting on the toilet.
Well,
if you're shitting in zero gravity, I mean, is it fighting against you? Is it trying to push the turd back in your ass? You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
just kind of feel
there's
like
so many variables here.
I wonder how the shit feels coming out in zero gravity.
Because like I'm pretty sure it's like trying to wiggle to the left, wiggle to the right.
Right, it's sort of yanking up. It's sort of yanking up because your shit's trying to float away, so your butthole's getting sort of pulled in a way that it's never been
It's
pulled
not getting
before.
pulled at all, but you'd feel it against your ass as it floated up. It'd be like if you were shitting in water.
I don't know.
I've never shit in the water before.
I bet you have.
I have reservations about that because, like, I mean, your butt is a vacuum. Because, like, you push the turd
butt's a
out,
vacuum.
and then you know it kind of pucker back up, and it's going to pull water in.
Right,
with you
right,
too.
right.
So I don't even know how that's connected down
Oh
there.
my god, I never even thought about the last moment that the tip of the shit leaves and then your butthole sucks back up.
Yeah.
Right. So you're going to be sucking in
chlorine,
right
water.
Well, I was thinking of space, so you're pulling in sort of anti-oxygen. What's in space?
Antioxygen.
Like would it just be easy for
Yeah,
your
it's just like,
intestines
I don't want you to breathe.
like would your butthole just sort of be sucked out into space?
Yeah,
would
like-
you die asshole first?
Like the pink sock. Just,
You wish.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You just truncated anus just pulled out into the vacuum of space. What do you mean I wish? What the hell does that fucking mean? I don't wish for it. I am legitimately scientifically curious about what happens if I pull my bare asshole out in the vacuum of space and take a shit. Is it just gonna pull everything out with it?
I don't know. I hope I'm not trying it. So
I'll tell you, she knows.
You know, I can see it in your eyes.
Yeah.
Your glasses tell me
I
all
mean,
that I need to know.
if you were in a ship in the middle of space,
Sure.
and then like a hole got punctured in the side of your ship,
Right.
and you were like had your ass cheeks open,
Right. Which I often
mean,
do.
it would suck you. Well, depending on the way you were pointing, it could suck you ass first through the hole,
Okay.
or at least
God.
close.
Like
But-
on Alien Resurrection.
Right.
But like,
Which
you'd have
was
to be
reenacted
really
in-
aimed in the direction to make it really pinpoint accurate.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So like Alien Resurrection, which was reenacted in Avengers: Infinity War.
Right.
Exactly. I got it. You punch your hole and just get.
You just pulled out of your own asshole. You're turned wrong side out
Yes,
out of your own asshole.
yes.
Is basically what it
Yeah,
is.
it's like pulling
Or
the sock
right
off your.
side in,
Where do your bones go in that case?
I don't
just
know.
wherever.
They would just be released. They'd all separate.
I know your muscle hold all that together though.
That's
so-
what I'm saying.
right? So your muscles and
You'll be looking like one of them wacky inflatable arm flailing tube men.
That's right. With a turd floating around your head.
Because you created your own gravity.
Right. Let's
There's just a guy that photoshops shit at NASA. He just puts a shit in every space picture.
He's like, hey guys, I made it look like Buzz took a shit in the moon. Let's put it on the internet.
Let's see how far we can take this.
Yeah, see how far we could take this.
That flat Earth thing really went crazy after a while.
I know. I mean, it's the climate that we live in. I mean, if it pops up on the internet, this might be some truth to it, I
There's
guess.
definitely going to be a group supporting it. That's for sure.
Flat that Earth.
The flat earthers have really shown us what the internet is really capable of, I think, though.
I mean, but at this point, I mean, we've been around for millennia,
right?
Or whatever. Do it fucking matter if it's round or flat? I mean, I'm surviving. I'm living in this bitch.
But
right?
like, if it didn't matter, then you wouldn't have been able to get here. Your GPS wouldn't work. Your phone, your cell phones wouldn't work.
You talking about on that kind of level? I'm
Yeah,
just
right.
it's like Trump. I mean, it doesn't affect me in my day to day, so I don't give a fuck about it. you
Right,
know?
right.
So,
Right,
I mean,
so
I'm
I
not
don't-
leaning off to one side, and I'm just going off into the abyss of space with turds and shit.
We should be though.
That's what the space junk really is, just big shits from astronauts floating around. But dude, I'll tell you what though, if you are in the vacuum of space and a big turd fucking swings around the earth and hits you between the eyes, it's gonna cleave your head in twain.
Good.
That's for sure.
It's a way to go out.
Charmin now selling a roll of toilet paper that can last up to a month, since we're on the subject.
Yeah, but those are just the toilet that's basically the rolls that you see when you go
What
to use a
ply is
public
that?
public
Yeah.
restroom.
I wonder what ply it is.
It's probably a half a ply.
Right, yeah. So
it's that
yeah.
crappy paper that you see when you go to the grocery store bathroom.
Right.
It's
You-
like a 70-pound roll.
Yeah, you go to wipe your ass, and instead what you end up with is a bunch of ripped paper and fingertips covered in shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this right now, and I would not like to apply that to my ass.
Hey-o! I wouldn't like, no way, dude. And then, by the way, this is all subjective anyway. Who the fuck are you to tell me how long a toilet paper fucking roll is going to last? I buy these fucking toilet paper rolls, like, oh, this is going to last a week. I'm like, yeah, we'll see about that.
I go to Costco and buy in bulk.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I didn't learn about Costco until The Watch with Ben Stiller and all them, and moving to Texas to where they have a plentiful amount of Costco's.
Okay, all right.
Also, another thing I didn't know about was a grocery chain called H-E-B, which is delightful. Matter of fact, I went there yesterday, and this is like
I've never heard of that one.
Yes, which is here. Let me show you the meat selections that they have there.
Meat selection.
Yes, they have a extraordinary deli.
Okay.
Let's see where we at. I know I saved this motherfucker. I probably erased it, but it is on my Instagram, which you can follow at @randomramblingw_Rob. I know that's convoluted as fuck, but 3R Show was taken by this punk motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
Who goddamn have only 2 pictures on that bitch from years ago, and he don't use the motherfucker for nothing. Now, I went to his DM and I tried to daggone message him and tried to get Instagram.
I was gonna say, offer him $100, dude.
Motherfucker, I tried, and
Yeah.
he don't motherfucking answer me, son of a bitch.
Sarah, what's the next topic?
Oh, let's see.
There it is. Bacon wrapped jalapeno cornbread stuffed pork tenderloin.
Dude, I saw you post that. I saw you post that, dude.
Like, it
There's
just
so
sounded
much to
like there's a
unpack
bunch
there.
of extra shit they couldn't sell and mushed it all in together.
That's what it was. Can you read it one more time? What is that?
It is bacon wrapped.
Okay, sounds good so far.
Jalapeno.
Okay, burning now.
I've had bacon wrapped jalapeno individually with a little bit of cream cheese or sausage.
Sure.
Delicious.
Sure.
So bacon wrapped jalapeno, cornbread stuffed pork tenderloin.
Yeah, that's a lot. That right there, that's a morning of hot shits. You're gonna need the
You're gonna need the moon landing for that.
you're gonna need the moon landing and some Charmin 1 month 1 month toilet paper for that, because there's gonna be some blood to soak up too. You
Yes.
know what I mean? If you're shitting out fucking bacon jalapeno, you
Yes.
know, we're talking about some shit here.
Oh, that guy looks interesting. Is
Yeah.
that a Florida man?
Man admits ghost did not plant meth in his home. Court records show. Just in case you were wondering, this guy thought that ghost.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It says Louisiana.
Yeah. Well,
that's where I'm from. I'm
listen,
sorry.
no offense, Rob, but a lot of these stories come from the South and the Midwest.
Oh,
and
I
don't-
understand that.
I don't know what the fuck's going on out
They
there.
mostly come from Florida.
A lot of it's from Florida. But he admits a ghost didn't do it. So thank God for that, because I was concerned that a ghost may have done it.
Yeah, I don't believe in ghosts.
Yeah,
Pretty sure one
anybody
person could
rational.
look at this guy and be like, "Yeah, dude, it's probably you, and you forgot."
Yeah, it was probably you. And
I mean, I'm looking at this guy.
Sure.
I mean, he has some features about him that to make me think that like maybe 15 to 20 years ago that he might have been a handsome dude.
That's what I think.
Might have had a lot of ladies that would submit to his will and whatnot.
But it's falling apart.
Yes, that's what it looks like. He's disheveled.
I wonder if it was the meth that did it.
Yeah, I wonder. But
I wonder.
If
But
the ghost hadn't done it.
Yeah, I wonder how would an individual like this get introduced to meth though.
Right.
You know, that's the things that I look. That's the things that I think about when I look at stuff like this. It's just like,
Because if he
where
combed
did it
his
go
hair,
wrong?
yeah, right. If he combed his hair and put him in a suit, he might be a lawyer. You know what
And
I
then,
mean?
like, I'm looking at his age range. He looks like an older gentleman and everything, but he still has a head full of hair. Which, on the other hand, I am a 37-year-old male, and kind of healthy or whatever, and I have none.
Right.
And I've been losing it since I was 23.
And
so
now you
I don't
gotta
understand
wonder.
this.
And now I gotta wonder if you smoke some meth.
Would
Would it come back?
You know
what I mean? Because I wonder the same. Look, I might have a mohawk, but don't let it fool you. The front of the hairline is a little bit questionable. You know what I mean?
I
So
mean,
I understand that.
Mine look like the bat symbol, so that's why I got to keep it shaved. So it go all in different directions and shit.
I don't know. I feel for the man though. I look at him and I say, I see what you're saying. Back in the day, maybe he was really.
Imagine if he wasn't trying to bullshit people. Imagine if the whole time he really thought that it was a ghost, and then one day he was like, "Wait a minute, I don't think that." No, that was me.
Yeah,
I did that.
yeah. Oh,
I did that shit
shit.
with the meth.
For some
Oh,
reason,
fuck.
every time I smoke meth, I
better
forget.
tell them I was wrong.
Yeah, right, guys. It wasn't the ghosts. It was me.
I mean, that goes to show you he had some kind of moral compass when he was a kid. He had somebody kind of guiding him in the right direction. He haven't abandoned those
Honey,
core
if
values.
you ever get caught with your meth here,
Yeah.
you fess up.
You fess up.
Have a goddamn sense of morals.
Right, for fuck's sake. It's not ghosts, you piece of shit.
Unless it's a zombie condom.
Unless it's a zombie condom, and then it might be ghosts.
So a zombie's a ghost? You
No, a zombie's not a ghost.
Okay, so because they can't walk through.
I don't know. I mean,
It's just
I never
half-living
really
meat.
thought of it that way.
'Cause, I mean,
but
ghosts
I
are dead,
guess,
zombies are dead.
Yeah,
I
they're all
mean,
dead. One's just meaty and one
No,
isn't.
it's virus-filled meat that's attacking the nervous
Well,
system.
it depends on what type of zombie world you're discussing.
And that's all the same, really. At the end, when it was some of them like coffee.
Well,
or
if it's someone that has a virus and looks dead, then that's not the same thing.
right. I don't know.
So you got three choices, and I'll let you pick.
Okay.
Which zombies would you prefer?
Okay.
The fast ones?
Okay.
The slow ones? Or the ones from the movie Warm Bodies?
Listen, hold on a minute. When you say prefer,
Yeah, like,
I mean, you
do
had no
what
choice in
with?
the matter, but
Like
you
if-
like if I had to fight them,
yeah,
give me the slow shit ones. You know what I mean? The ones that are like see, like in The Walking Dead, I never really understood why they can't get away. I'm like, these fucking things are slow. Yeah, there's a lot of them, but like, just pick up some knives, run real fast. They're not stealthy. You know what I mean? They're
It
slow.
reminds me more of like The Matrix, the second one, to where he was fighting all the Agent Smiths.
Right.
And he just took the pole and he was like,
Right. And if he can do that, I sure as shit can take out some Walking Dead zombies, for fuck's sake.
But it's not about the zombies anymore. The
Right.
Walking Dead is a euphemism for people in the world that have been transformed by their environment.
But it
and I'm just
always
making
has
up
been.
educational words that I'm not using correctly.
It always has been. The original Night of the Living Dead movie was a metaphor for what was happening to the American landscape. You know what I mean? It was people were just like zombies just going through their day-to-day life. You know what I mean? And that's what it was. And now we're dealing with
motherfuckers with their head in their phones.
Yeah, fuck. It's exactly the same.
Walking out into the traffic, getting ran over.
Right. You need laws now that tell people like, hey, make sure you don't look at your phone when you cross the street.
You know what's the most asinine thing that I think of? And I work in security and I've been in the military and all kind of stuff.
Sure.
If they're posted a sign that says "Don't do this," why do you need to question that?
Yeah, right.
Because a motherfucker did the shit that they're telling you not to do.
Right.
And it's a bad thing. So I mean,
right. Don't
that's
put
why
your-
the sign is there. So
Right.
why should you question
So
it?
if the sign says, "Do not put your
Don't
tongue
leave
in
shit
this,"
on this moon.
Yeah, right. You're right. To just follow the goddamn rules. So what's the next topic?
Did we talk about the dolphins getting high?
Nope.
Oh no, I was.
But
listening
I'm
about this.
interested.
So they found that young dolphins will hold a toxic blowfish in their mouth
Oh,
for,
yeah.
for
I
like
did hear about
several hours and then pass them on to their friends?
Why?
Wait.
Because they get fucked up on it. They hallucinate.
Do they pass it on the left-hand side?
I think so.
See, they are just like us.
See, well, if dolphins was
terrible.
one of us.
Imagine just being that blowfish, and you're just like, God, what is happening to me? And like the
And you
dolphin.
keep puffing up over and over.
Yeah, you're
'cause
puffing
you're
up
all,
over and over.
okay.
Let me out of here,
Nothing
asshole.
worse than being a blowfish with anxiety.
Yeah,
I mean that's his defense mechanism too, and it's like, yeah, keep doing that shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, right. Jesus Christ, this gets dolphins high?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, is a
Because
dolphin?
of the poison in the blowfish gets the dolphins a little
Listen,
hallucinating.
dolphins are the most evil things on earth.
They're pretty awful.
Even Echo the dolphin.
Fuck the dolphin. Fuck Echo the dolphin. Fuck them all, dude.
They're
rapey,
terrible.
fucking weird, terrible, like little nasty motherfuckers. And there's no law in dolphin life. There's no law. So when they when there's a gang of 75 of them and they all gang rape one fucking dolphin or one person, they just get away with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
now imagine.
Just get away with it.
Imagine you're a blowfish. You're a blowfish.
Unless they end up in a tuna can.
Unless that, and you know what, and we're all safer in that regard. But imagine you're a blowfish, and now you're being held hostage as to some sort of drug provider that you don't even want to be.
Oh my god, the dolphins have like an underground blowfish den.
Yeah, and they all
You
sit
pay
around.
you pay like a certain fee, and then like the dolphin lets you in through the coral, and then into the back room.
Right, there's
and it's
like a
just like really tall algae, so you can't see in there.
Right, and then you get in
and
there,
they're all sucking on blowfish.
and it's just abused blowfish.
Yeah, blowfish trafficking.
They're just beaten, and the blowfish are like, "Kill me."
They have like lipstick smeared all over them.
Oh man, you got Mrs. Puff back there, just like, oh man.
Oh wow, man. The dolphins, they have like a code word to get in that no human can speak. It's like, like, what the fuck? And every time a fucking blowfish hears it, they have a fucking panic attack.
And they blow up.
Not again.
Yeah,
and then they blow up. They're like, I wish I could stop.
And then the dolphin comes by and scoop the ass up.
Yeah.
I see you have some anxiety.
For hours, man.
Yeah, right.
Happy ending.
That's the whole afternoon shot.
But dolphins don't care about that. They don't care about their afternoons. They don't have a job to go to. You know, they don't give a fuck about anything. Man, dolphins are like the better version
So
of
think
people.
of how good it must be that they're willing to get a spiked beach ball inflated in their face
Right.
for hours.
Right.
Like that's how good this
That's how
makes
good it
them
is.
feel.
Right,
that
right.
They don't give a shit about that.
It's like being Wolverine. You know, they ask him how the claws coming out feels. Is like it hurts every time, but it only hurts for a fucking second. You know what I mean? So if you got a blowfish in the mouth and it puffs up and the spikes hit you for just a second, if everything after that is euphoric,
yeah,
then fuck it, dude.
Because like, I mean, it opens the pores probably. It's just like it gets in it and it's like, oh.
It's like, oh, it hurts. You're like, oh.
That's like that new. I bet it's probably for them like that drug on the new Judge Dredd movie and shit, to where like they hit it and it's like all crystal and shit there in slow motion, like.
And what does a dolphin see on that high? I wonder.
I don't know.
They imagine that they're walking.
Yeah, I was supposed to say they got legs and shit.
They start evolving, getting little feet. Imagine a dolphin with some weird little half foot growing on both sides, and you're like, oh. And then, like in another 50 years, it's got sort of a leg to the knee going on. And you're like, dude, we gotta kill these fucking things, or they're gonna start walking around on the beach soon.
Yeah, but that's what we did.
Ugh. And look what the hell happened. Has this been good? Is this good for anybody?
No.
I mean, in some aspects, we get the zombie condoms. So.
God damn it, Rob! There's a shit on the moon right now. That's what we contributed.
Yeah, I
we
don't
put
see
a
any
shit.
dolphins doing that.
Yeah, I don't see dolphins doing. Not yet.
Yet.
Yeah, yet.
Would the laws of physics apply to them the same way in space as it would to human beings? Because I can imagine just dolphins orbiting around the moon. And
Yeah,
shit.
they're like, hey, look at us, you piece of shit humans.
And they blow a blowfish
And they blow a
out.
blowfish up. The blowfish can't
The
take the
blowfish
pressure.
has like a tiny helmet.
They're just like, thank God I'm gonna die. And then it realizes it has a helmet on. It's like, fuck me. I can't get away.
It's like a tiny fish bowl.
They feed it just enough to keep it alive.
Because they're evil.
God, they're evil.
That's how vampires do us.
They're evil.
Forming us.
Look, man, if I have any fucking message for, Japan, it's just keep killing the dolphins. Do us a whole favor, for God's sake. Fuck this.
Hey, we're back.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Sawsome talk. Fuck.
Sausage party talk.
Awesome talk. Season 11, episode 3
Sauce
on
of
April
boss.
16th, 2019.
Sauce to the sauce.
Thomas thinks he can do whatever he wants. I don't know, whatever. We are going to read through some comments, and then we're going to comment fast, and then we're going to wrap up the show. All right? Because we are
talk like micro machines.
like this.
Micro machines.
Oh, right,
No
right.
one
Okay.
sitting here could do that.
What was
I know.
You need an app for that.
Yeah.
That was his specialty.
What does everyone think about the new Terminator movie on the horizon? All right.
I was unaware. I was
Yeah,
a new
I
Terminator
was
movie
unaware.
on the
Yeah,
horizon.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is all
900 years old.
Yeah.
fucking, yeah.
Do they drop him into society as opposed to a vat?
No, he's
Now
just
at T-1000, he can show up with a Gatling gun
Yeah.
and an arm that extends.
I'm pretty sure he's just been sitting around since like 1983, and he's just an old piece of shit machine at this point. I
It's
think.
Peter Weller.
Yeah.
It's actually RoboCop.
Yeah.
What does it just mean?
What a twist! It's directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and it's like at the end, you're like, "Oh my God, is that Peter Weller?"
I was going to ask you for real.
with a goatee that looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, this Terminator movie is going to basically disregard every Terminator movie
That's
again.
what every Terminator movie does. Every
the
Terminator
first
movie.
two?
Now,
No,
is
except
John
the
Connor
first
in
two.
it?
Oh, okay.
Like the John Connor that is now the John Connor. Is he in it, or is it
Isn't he dead? Or a drug addict?
in real life?
Yeah.
In real life,
What,
like
Edward
20
Fur-
of the John Connors were
Yeah, which John Connor are we talking about?
Edward Furlong?
Is that the one
No,
who's the
that's
drug
not
addict?
John.
That's the kid one.
No.
Wasn't he the kid
No,
version
he
of
What,
one?
number 2?
In Terminator 2.
Which
Terminator
one's the real
two.
John
Yeah.
Connor?
And then
Who
he became,
counts?
and then he
Now
became the
we've
Crow.
moved on.
Who the hell counts as the real John Connor around
That's
here?
getting at. I'm
Although
sure.
neither one in the future.
Oh, all right. Well, the future John
Well,
Connor.
we could write Christian Bale off as not
Edward
a John
Furlong
Connor.
He does
for-
be
Christian
horrible.
Bale
Sure.
sucks
Seriously, in the-
as John Connor.
He sucks in general, all right? And I need everyone to just come to terms
Salute
with
your
that.
shorts.
I'll agree.
What?
Thank fucking God.
Hold
in
on
the
a minute.
Fifth Crow movie,
Salute
too.
your shorts.
The fifth Crow
Here.
movie?
Oh no, the dude that rides
There's
that
a
dirt
five-
bike
a fifth?
is-
There's like 100
It was
of
called
them.
it was called
Sausage
Wicked Prayer.
and
It
Fuck.
was released at one theater at 2:00 in the afternoon in Indiana, so they didn't have to put direct to video on the DVD when they released it.
No,
What movie?
that.
Yeah. Well, he
But
does
it
a
was
podcast and
We
they
did
talk
it-
about
we did an
movies.
episode
and
of
they're all-
Relax, Crow
Yeah.
fans.
A connoisseur of films knows that.
Yeah.
So that guy who
A
rides the
connoisseur
dirt
of
bike
crows.
is
Who
the guy,
doesn't know
right?
that?
From Salute Your Shorts. The redhead. What's his name?
The dirt bike guy from
From
Pet
what?
Cemetery
Not.
2.
Pet Cemetery.
Okay.
2.
He's from
Yes.
Salute Your
Waffle
Shorts.
Waffle Kid?
The redheaded bully kid in Salute Your
Salute Your
Shorts.
Shorts.
No.
Yes.
Is the biker.
He's the guy that rides the dirt bike
No.
when the Mack truck is running after him in the fucking.
And then the cop
I don't believe it.
holds the bike.
Yes,
to his face.
yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Side note.
I'm going to move on to the next comment.
So what do you think about
Glad we got through that
Terminator?
quick.
That we're done with that question.
I'm
Star
always
Wars
weirdly
trail.
excited
What?
for
Never
new
knew that.
Terminator movies, even though I know that they're almost always going to disappoint me. Some. The last one though.
I like Genesis.
The last one
Didn't love
though
it.
with fucking was that the one with the what's her name, the fucking chick from the Han Solo movie?
Amelia Clark.
Yeah.
Dude, she was a great Sarah Connor.
She was a
She looks like a young Sarah
surprisingly great
Connor.
You should
Sarah
watch Game
Connor.
of Thrones, buddy.
I know.
And totally
Once you watch it, you can't watch
unbelievably
Terminator.
shitty character.
Shit.
in
He's gonna be
Solo.
like, "Fuck, this is not a good Sarah Connor."
I think the
Once you
blonde
see-
chick.
Once you see her in Game of Thrones, it changes
It
the whole
changes
perspective.
the
Sarah
whole
Connor.
game, probably.
Because
Huh?
you get so used
Which
to
Sarah
somebody's
Connor?
typecast.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like watching Hugh.
She was in Genesis, and she looked like the original one from the first and second
I didn't see
movies, like a
Genesis.
young version of
If
her.
you watch Wolverine in any other movie,
I
you're like,
can't. It's so bad.
It's Wolverine. Where's your clothes?
Yeah.
You
Oh, I know
like,
what you're saying.
Hugh Jackman
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
nothing but
You can't
Wolverine.
see him in like a
It's the one
rom-com.
thing they feared. It's the one thing his wife was like, "Please get out of this
So
fucking
it's
job."
hard to see him running
So
around in
Sarah
Broadway.
Connor is like,
Yeah.
there's only Linda
Linda Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
That's it. So like, if I watch somebody else, it's like, nah, man, she fucks people up.
Yeah.
That's the Sarah
She's
Connor I
brutal,
want.
dude.
It's hard. Like for anyone that watched Sarah Connor Chronicles, it's hard to imagine the chick that played Sarah not being Sarah Connor after a while because
Yeah,
dude,
right.
That,
Yeah, she's good
that
too.
chick was.
There was
just,
there was a show that went on for
there's-
3
there's
seasons.
Sarah Connors then.
There was a TV show.
There's a TV show called The Sarah Connor Chronicles,
and it was.
and it was about what happened
fucking
after
good.
Terminator 2.
Really?
And
I didn't see that.
it was
I missed so much.
fucking great.
Out of the loop.
And then they canceled it when the biggest twist fucking happened.
Ugh!
And then you're just stuck out there.
If there is only one show that
Yeah, it's
Netflix could
wafting.
take
The
and
twist
make
was that
continue,
Skynet hired
that
Bill
is the
Gates.
only
Yeah.
show I've ever hoped that they did.
Yeah, yeah,
And
Netflix. Yeah,
anything
Netflix needs to
that
pick it
they
up.
could
the,
it like it's hard to even
Artificial
believe
intelligence
that they
from
couldn't
I
just
Am Legend.
fucking let it go for
That
one
bitch in
more
apartment
season.
23 had a twist at
And
the
they
end of
fought
that.
against
Yeah?
the fucking company in,
Hold on, I gotta get through more comments.
what's the company in
There's like literally 100
Umbrella
comments.
Company. Yeah.
So maybe we shouldn't go
So
through all
you're
of
the
them.
one that has to be going fast.
Listen,
dude.
listen. I'm gonna read through all the comments. Whatever you think of the comments, just shout it out. Okay?
Don't read it like a child.
Yeah, read it like
Well, move your
preteen.
fucking head.
Read it more like a
Tilly in a
preteen.
sing song.
Or
Palpatine.
Really?
Are you guys paying attention?
Palpatine.
Palpatine could all along be Plagueis, who is cited as the only one who mastered reincarnation. Could be a hologram, says Rose. He says, why are they at the Death Star?
Rose is exactly
Are
right.
they searching for Palpatine's body before the First Order gets it? Rose says, of the old Death Star with Palpatine. Then Jimmy Soldo came in. What's up, Jimmy? And Nick, hey, what's up, Rose? Yes, Rose, Jorah, Rose. Gone Girl was awesome. Rose, the accountant was awesome too.
no.
John says Ben Affleck was great in The Four Brothers. And Keith says Phantom's like a motherfucker.
I hear he was the bomb in that.
Shrey's in the chat.
You wouldn't watch it.
What's up, Shrey? How's it going? Keith, supposed to be the true 13 everything
No,
after
T3.
After
T2 didn't
T2 didn't happen, except this. Damn, I joined at last. Hey, what's up, man?
Better late than never.
Love that show. John, she was great. Shrey, I know, right? John, I thought the guy who played Kyle should be the new Reese. I agree with that, actually. Keith, TV show was so dope. Keith, Summer... I don't know. Wow. I agree.
Summer Glau was what?
Wholeheartedly.
It's just,
Summer Glau is the one that played.
Whew.
she played the Terminator, right?
Yeah.
Or a Terminator in the show.
She was the one that came back.
Dude, I'm so happy to see other
protect
people
Joe.
watch that. Sarah Connor Chronicles was amazing. Thank you. Absolutely it was. Yeah, if there's anything Netflix should pick up, it's that. That's all the fucking comments. Guys, this is one of the longest running Awesome Talks in a long fucking time, man. And we had a lot of fun tonight.
Good chat.
So I'm going to give our guests 30 seconds for your final words. You know what the final word is at this point? If right this minute you had to... well, hold on. Before I get to that...
It's like a star wipe.
That's what I've been staring at.
What?
The
What the hell
squigglies.
is on the screen right now?
I thought it was next to Rick, and I'm sitting.
I don't
there
know what
looking
that
like,
is.
What is
There's
that?
nothing
Matt,
next
is
to
there something on the screen?
That looks like
that thing's dope.
It looks like it
nothing
glitched
on
out.
Matt's screen.
Like
Is this your
somebody
new
hitting
logo?
comments and it piled up.
Yeah, the comments have piled up.
You know, they clicked
Yeah.
the little thing.
I mean, there's.
Somebody overloaded our hearts and emoji smiles.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's right.
Interesting.
Thanks, guys. That's a weird glitch.
It's not here.
Cool.
Yeah, it's because you're not being.
It's something else they're going to
What's
start
that game where you
charging
put the
for.
sticks together?
Okay, so Rob, you have a
your
band called
projector's fucked
Suspect. Rob, you have a podcast called the Something Something Cast. What do you guys got going on right now that you need to promote?
So the biggest thing I want to promote, May 17th, 18th, and 19th, Epic Film Guys is doing once again their live stream for The Cure. This year it is 40 hours of streaming and podcasting over 3 days. All donations go to the Cancer Research Center. You can donate early now at livestreamforthecure.com. That will also be the website you can check in at. It's going to have all the details. We're going to be on Saturday the 18th at 9:30 p.m. to 10, but there are a number of amazing podcasts that are going to be on there. There's going to be video game streaming and stuff, so if you're around, please check it out. Please donate. It goes to a great cause. It's personal to me too. I lost my dad to cancer last year. It's a fucked up disease. The more we can try to get ahead of it, and these guys have been doing some awesome stuff. Their goal is $7,500. We just want to help them blow it away this year.
Hell yeah, dude. And where can people find you and your podcast online? What else do you want to say?
So our website is somethingcast.com. We have all of the widgets and doodads and buttons that can get you to our iTunes and our Google Play and our Stitcher and our email and everything else off that. But yeah, Twitter handle at STSTcast, somethingcast.com. 4 different shows going right now. We've got 140 episodes of our main podcast, and then we have 4 other spin-off shows that we do. But it's good stuff.
Awesome, man.
And happy birthday, Hatton. I know he's not watching. He's
Oh,
not
hell
happy
yeah,
birthday
man. Happy
today,
birthday.
but,
I'm sorry, dude.
the big 4-0 today for Reverend James Hatton.
Good for you, dude. All right, man. Nice. And anything you would like to promote or talk about?
Yeah, I would, actually. We just finished recording an EP out in Pennsylvania with our boy Stress, and we're going to be releasing that soon. We're working on some new merchandise. We got 2 shows coming up. We'll be playing May 5th at the Convention Center in Asbury as part of Punk Rock Flea Market. So
cool.
Cinco de Mayo, come check us out. We're one of the couple bands on the signature stage up there. And then June 28th, we're going to play at the House of Independence. We're there with H2O.
Oh, cool.
And Wisdom in Chains, one of a couple of bands that are being playing that night. And we're trying to pack the place out. Should be a good time.
Do me a favor, the sound guy there is kind of a dick. Drop the mic on its head and make sure he owns the microphone.
Well played, man. Well played. I've never played it before. Shout out to Asbury Park Brewery, man. We played there a long time, and they're fucking cool, man. The shows are fun. Good times. But House of Independence, man, it's the first time we're going there, so we'll experience it as it comes.
Jim Norton just get back. Oh, I don't know, but never drank a drop of liquor in his life, so he's really relaxed.
Oh, fair enough.
So I want to thank you guys so much for being here.
Right, thank you.
30 seconds each for your final word, your final message to the world, what you want to say about
We
life
don't
for tonight or
actually
anything.
time these fucking things.
Well,
She
whatever.
just said bullshit.
Okay,
on you.
fine, whatever.
Like this.
Go ahead. Your final word to the world. What do you want to say?
You know where I'm coming from, man. Same thing I always say. Do what you're doing. Do what you love. Be who you are, and follow your dreams. If you want to do something that is outside the norm, or you want to be off from normal society, it's a good thing. You're contributing. As long as you contribute, get up, do your thing every day, and contribute to the world. People will love you for it, regardless of whether you're making a lot of money. It's not about fucking finances.
All right. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Podcast Rob, your final word.
Again, very similar theme to what I say on here a lot. I've always said rising tide raises all ships. Don't be afraid to go out there and pay it forward. While you're doing your thing, we wouldn't be here at this bar had Rick not reached out to us and said, hey, you guys got to come on our show. This is like our 4th time being on here now, 5th time being on here. So don't be afraid to go out there and show others who are trying to do the thing that you're doing how you got to where you are to help get them to that same level, because it'll all get paid back in the long run.
Cool. All right. And I want to thank you guys, our guests, for being here tonight, man. You guys are fucking awesome, as usual. And it's great having you guys on together. I think that makes for a great show. Again, if you're watching, make sure that you like this or share this or all that other shit. And thank you so much for watching. Everybody in the chat room tonight, man. It was really, really great having you here. Thanks to Alexis, who was here. She had to take off. Chris Ruth, who was here, who had to take off. They were great guests tonight as well, man. Yeah. Really loved that. And listen, in 2 weeks, we will be back on here again. We have a whole other great panel, a whole other great season fucking planned. And one other thing, I want to thank our sponsors, Nevermore, Designs.com, who makes our mugs for us. And we got stuff coming this season in regard to that as well. So thank you to them, and check them out. And I think that's it for tonight. So thank you very much for drinking with us, everybody, and that is Awesome Talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I